TCU, Dave, and this rivalry dates back to 1923 when TCU joined the Southwest Conference. Today will be the 73rd consecutive time these two teams have met.
Should be a great game today. You know, through the first 5 games of the year, TCU won by an average of over 30 points a game. But last week in the wind and the rain at Tulsa, a real defensive battle. Shannon Brazil got in there for the sack. And here Tulsa is frustrated late in the first half. LeVar Beal with an end zone interception. Late in the third quarter, TCU finally got their offense off the ground, and they went on to defeat the Golden Hurricane in a very difficult game, 17-3. LaDainian Tomlinson has already rushed for over 1,000 yards this season. He's a prime candidate to win the Heisman Herald, but what about those guys up front, the so-called big uglies who open up the holes?
Well, TCU has a very experienced offensive line, Dave. They're anchored by 4 seniors and 1 junior, Victor Payne. TCU keeps an interesting stat. They keep track of knockdown blocks. And against Northwestern, TCU had 139 knockdown blocks. However, last week against Tulsa, that number slipped to 64. It'll be interesting to see how they handle the Rice Owls today.
Speaking of knockdowns, Rice is going to try to have to avoid the knockout from TCU today. The kickoff of the Owls and Horned Frogs is next. Stay with us.
When it comes to our bodies, everyone is unique. Around 66% of us can curl our tongues, and 70% talk in our sleep. That's why Harris Methodist Hospitals deliver health care as individual as you are, through the healing hands of medical staff doctors and caring hearts of people truly dedicated to your well-being. That's what makes Harris Methodist Hospitals, well, unique. Harris Methodist Hospitals, healing hands, caring hearts.
At Minyard Food Stores, quality does make a difference. From garden fresh produce to name brand products, customers come back week after week for super specials like these.
Bluebell ice cream, 2 for $6. 2-liter Dr. Pepper, 69 cents. High top sugar, 99 cents. And iceberg lettuce, 2 for $1. Register to be a finalist in the Survive the Challenge sweepstakes. Grand prize, a 2000 Ford Expedition.
I'm Gretchen Minyard Williams. At Minyard Food Stores, quality, value, and customer satisfaction are a family tradition.
Today's game is brought to you by Miller Lite, true to Texas. By American Airlines, on American, Coach has more class. By Harris Methodist Hospitals, healing hands, caring hearts. And by your Texas Ford dealers, the #1 selling car and truck in Texas. Well, we are ready for football from the WAC this afternoon. Think we've got a good one. Old Texas rivals, TCU, the Horned Frogs at 6-0, 11th ranked in the nation, taking on the Rice Owls. There's been an awful lot of great football played between these two teams over the years, but with TCU heading to Conference USA next season, they're going to be interrupting this series for a while. And the fact that Rice has beaten TCU 4 straight times really gives the Horned Frogs all the incentive they need for an outstanding performance here at home this afternoon on homecoming. And let's head down to the sidelines where Hal J has our sideline report today. Good afternoon, Hal.
Hi, guys, and no rain today so far, not like you did to me in Tulsa last week. Right now, though, the big uglies are out here. They're getting ready to play their game against Rice. And I heard you guys talking about them a few moments ago. These guys have been playing, it seems like, together since they were 5 years old. They're one of the top offensive lines in the nation, and they're going to have to prove it today against the Rice Owls. But as you said, they're on the entire senior offensive line except for Victor Payne. He's a junior, but these guys have their hands full today, and I guarantee you they come out to play against their final game against Rice.
All right, Hal, thanks a lot. We look forward to your reports this afternoon. Here's a look at the team series history, and you can see for the Owls, they were the last team to beat TCU. That was 11 games ago, and in that game last year, TCU got out to a 14-0 lead, and then the Rice Owls came storming back. And here at home in this series, TCU with a slight edge, 19-16-2, although the last time these two teams did meet in Fort Worth, Rice walked away the victor. Harold Rice has won the opening toss, and they have deferred to the second half. So the Horned Frogs will get the football first, and it's time for our Harris Methodist Hospital health kick. When sports injuries occurs, remember RICE, Rice. Rest, ice, compression, and elevation. And we are underway. And a touchback. Rice leads the nation in kickoff returns, but no opportunity to return that football. TCU will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. And there's Printers, the quarterback. He's had an outstanding season, hitting over 61% of his passes, had 7 rushes for 87 yards at Tulsa last week. One back set, it's LaDainian Tomlinson. And Tomlinson with his first carry. He'll try the left side, and there is not much running room, a gain of only 1. Let's go ahead and check our starting lineups, and we'll begin with the Horned Frogs of head coach Dennis Franchione. Printers, your quarterback. George Lane, the bruising fullback, and don't forget about LT. Backs and receivers, Tim Maiden caught a big touchdown last week at Tulsa. Terrence Dunbar has the best speed among that group. Up front for the Horned Frogs, David Bobo, the senior from Odessa, a real star among this group. Now we got a bit of a delay down on the field today, Harold. Not sure what that's all about.
Well, it looks like the referee has a little problem with his microphone there, and he's now plugged back up, and I think we're ready to go, Dave. This should be a great game today as these two arch rivals play together again for the 73rd consecutive time.
Our referee today is Cooper Castleberry. 2 wide receivers to the right this time for the purple-clad Horned Frogs of TCU. Printers on a play fake will step up, and he'll step into the traffic, and there is nowhere to go. Green is there. He leads the way. Brandon Green, a sophomore from Vanderbilt, Texas, and it's going to be 3rd and long for TCU. The Rice defense. Jake Jackson at the left end position. Larry Brown is a load in the middle. In the linebacking spots, Rashad Pittman leads Rice in tackles this year. Dan Dawson had 3 interceptions last week in a win over Hawaii. And then the defensive secondary, watch out for Ortega. Printers, good pocket protection. The pass is complete, but it is far short of the first down. Tim Maiden makes the reception. And for TCU at home against their rivals Rice on homecoming weekend, it's 3 and out on their first possession.
But Dave, that's only the second time this year that TCU has taken the kickoff and gone 3 and out. The Rice Owls are fired up, ready to play, and they feel like that they should beat TCU every time they play them. That's the way Rice has approached this game. Obviously, TCU approaches it just the opposite way.
Joey Biasotti is in to punt the football for TCU rather. Gets a high spiraling kick out of there and is going to sail out of bounds. But the Owls of Coach Ken Hatfield are going to have good field position, and a flag is down, and Biasotti is down.
Well, this looks like we're going to have roughing the kicker penalty as Biasotti is down, and of course TCU does not need to lose Joey Biasotti. The redshirt sophomore has had an outstanding year, averaging 41.5 yards per kick.
He's coming off one of his best efforts last week. At Tulsa, he had 8 punts for an average of nearly 45 yards per punt, and he allowed the nation's leading punt returner, Donald Scholes of the Golden Hurricane.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker on the receiving team, 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
All right, it's a first down for the Owls. One more point about Donald Scholes from Tulsa. Last week, just 1 return for -6 yards, and he was the nation's leading punt returner heading into that game. And Biasotti continues to be attended to down at the 12-yard line of TCU.
Yeah, this does not look good for Biasotti, as he obviously is in some pain there. Biasotti's father was a place kicker here at TCU, and back in the mid-70s. Long history there with his family in TCU.
Let's see if we can pick up the injury, Harold.
Also, the throwing of any objects is prohibited. Thank you for your cooperation.
Rice came on a big rush, and he hit him when his foot was actually, his kicking foot was in the air. His other foot was planted on the ground, and it did not look good. There's Charlie Rizzo there in the red shirt, Rice linebacker coach, a former TCU coach, flanked there by Kenny Hatfield.
All right, we'll step away momentarily from Fort Worth. TCU will continue their opening drive when we return in just a moment. No score.
Fans will notice the best seats.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road. From up in Amarillo down to San Antonio.
Nothing makes the miles between the Panhandle and the Hill Country fly by like this, the Ford Mustang. And right now, you can hit the open road in one with 1,000 cash back. Stop by your Texas Ford dealer today and test drive the car that proves without a doubt.
Ford is the best in Texas.
Learning to change the world. Horn Frog.
Opportunities.
Technology.
Business.
People are friendly.
Education.
Student government.
Teamwork.
Knowledge. Class size.
Tradition.
Encouragement.
Because I like the challenge.
E-commerce.
Community service. Faculty.
Study abroad.
Purple.
Fort Worth.
Leadership.
Learning to change the world.
That is so sweet.
Hey, here's your free phone for making the donation.
Want a free digital phone? Donate $20 to Special Olympics from Southwestern Bell.
Ken Hatfield in his 7th season at Rice, just under 500. He and Coach Dennis Franchione at TCU share one great honor. Both of these guys have been WAC Coaches of the Year with 2 different schools. Hatfield did it with Rice. He also did it with Air Force. Coach Fran did it obviously here at TCU and at New Mexico. And what is it about Ken Hatfield? He seemingly has a stranglehold on Dennis Franchione. Coach Fran is 0-4 against Hatfield, 0-2 here at TCU, and 0-2 at New Mexico.
Well, sometimes coaches get your number, and Ken Hatfield has had Franchione's number through the years. And you're talking about 2 coaches here, Dave, who are in the top 15 in the nation in their profession. Hatfield is number 10 in the nation with among active coaches with wins, and Franchione ranks 13th in the nation in active wins.
And Biasotti obviously does not appear as if he'll be returning to this game anytime soon. Swept under in his first attempt this afternoon here at home. And that's no way to celebrate homecoming, I'll tell you that.
Well, this is a tough loss for TCU, Dave. And last week, Biasotti did such an outstanding job, averaging in the neighborhood of 44.5 yards per kick on 8 kicks. Fran gave Biasotti a game ball, which is very unusual. He does not give out those game balls very, very lightly.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 26.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the team comparison, and you can see that both of these teams rush the football extremely well. TCU in the right-hand column leads the nation in rushing offense. Rice is 11th in the nation. Passing offense is a different story. Both of these teams really don't pass the football too much. And look down at the scoring defense column. TCU giving up just 8.5 points per game. That is number 1 in the nation. Conversely, the Frogs, they've been getting it going offensively, scoring 36 points a game. Lots of high fives on the sidelines. And we are ready for action. 1st and 10 for TCU at their own 37-yard line. Tomlinson is the lone setback. 3-step drop, flip out, completes the pass. And he was able to get the pass quickly out to LaTerrence Dunbar, and the leading receiver for TCU is knocked out of bounds after a gain of 7. For Rice, Jeff Vanover has stepped in and is starting in the middle linebacking spot. Joe Bob Thompson suffered an ankle injury right before halftime last week in their home victory over Hawaii. He's not available, did not even make the trip. Printers, the pitch, LaDainian Tomlinson across the 45, and he is very close to a first down.
Well, this is something Horned Frog fans are probably excited to see as Tomlinson's able to catch a pitch. Last week, Dave, against Tulsa, Tulsa defense took the position that they were not going to allow Tomlinson to catch a pitch and put a guy on him on every play that prevented him from getting the outside pitch.
First and 10 for TCU. Ball resting just shy of the midfield stripe at the 49-yard line. Here's Tomlinson again. This time he'll try the left side. Puts his head down, and he is brought down just shy of midfield, and that's Pittman who came in to make the stop along with Vanover.
Rice's defense is flying to the ball. They've got extremely good pursuit, and that time the two linebackers, Pittman and Vanover, were there to meet Tomlinson for a short gain.
Last week, LT, 119 yards, scored a touchdown on 27 attempts as the Frogs defeated Tulsa 17-3. Second down and 9. Printers on the play action. Throws across the middle. Pass is caught, and that's a first down at the Rice 34-yard line. And for TCU, the reception is made by Tim Maiden.
Maiden is coming on a end pattern from your left side, as you'll see here. Printers makes a good throw. Big first down for TCU.
TCU has scored points on their first possession in 16 of their last 22 games, including 4 times this year, and they are on the march. First and 10 at the 34-yard line. This is Tomlinson again. He's across the 30, and he's down to the 28-yard line. That time, Harold, LT read his block beautifully as he worked his way off the right side.
He really did, Dave. It was stacked up a little bit off tackle. He slid just outside the tackle's hip, made a nice cut, and George Lane had a great kick-out block on the outside linebacker.
It'll be second down and about 4 for TCU. This is TCU's opening possession of the game. It looked as if Rice was going to take the Horned Frogs on a 3-and-out, but Biasotti, the punter, was injured. A personal foul was called, and that kept the drive alive. That time, they give Tomlinson a break, and Andrew Hayes Stoker on the carry, the junior from Arlington. Not much running room. No gain on the play. It'll be third down and 4.
Rice's defensive line is doing a good job of stacking up the middle there. Early, the first 3 plays, it looked like Rice was going to snuff TCU, but the last few plays, TCU seems to have a little rhythm and is moving the ball.
Unbelievably, last week in a win at Tulsa, TCU was 0 for 10 on third down conversions. This is Printer. The protection is good, and the pass in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Terrence Dunbar, and it's 4th down.
Dunbar was open for the first down then. The pass from Printers is overthrown. Dunbar cannot get his hands on it, and TCU is in field goal range, but it looks like they're going to be going for it.
So they will not bring Chris Kalaki out to attempt the field goal. Instead, they will go for it on 4th down. 4th down and a long 3. Printers 3-step drop. The pass caught. First down. Down to the Rice 16-yard line. That's Terrence Dunbar.
Well, Dunbar is the leading receiver for the Horned Frogs in yards gained, and he is the fastest receiver. That time, Printers hits him on a little stop pattern just for a 5-yard gain, and then he carries it on down the field for another 5.
Back down to the sidelines. What's up, Hal?
Okay, it's not good news for the TCU Horned Frogs. Joey Biasotti has broken the tibia in his right leg. Of course, out for the season, but that's what happened to him. He's been wheeled off, and they're going to have to deal with it with their second kicker, but he's got a broken tibia at his right leg.
All right, thank you, Hal. That's terrible news. LaDainian Tomlinson trying to get wide, really could not get outside. Dan Dawson, he knows about leg problems himself. He broke his right leg in 2 spots last year, came back strong in spring football, and has really come on again this year. And he was able to haul down LT before he really got rolling as he tried to get around the left sideline.
Dave, Dawson was not really expected to make a comeback from that leg injury last year. It was a very serious break, and he has absolutely amazed the Rice coaches with his comeback effort.
Lane and LT behind Printers on this 2nd down and 6. Deep handoff to Tomlinson inside the 10, carrying tacklers down to the 4-yard line. That's another Horned Frog first down. It's 1st and goal for TCU.
Tomlinson ran tough inside, did a little sidestepping to avoid a couple of people at the line of scrimmage. Here you'll see on the replay as he comes right up. It looks a little tight in front. Tomlinson does a little sidestepping and slips his way for a nice gain all the way down to the 4.5-yard line.
TCU scored touchdowns on their opening drives this year at Nevada and against Hawaii, and they're knocking on the door again. First and goal at the 4. Tomlinson can't quite get in. Down to about the 1.5-yard line.
Tomlinson shows a little power on that play as he's met by Jason Hebert, the safety. Hebert comes from a strong football family, as his dad played for Tulane and his brother played for Notre Dame.
LaDainian Tomlinson has scored 23 touchdowns in his last 9 games, and he's a prime candidate to get the football right here. It's second and goal inside the 2. Tomlinson again, spinning to the goal line, but not quite in there. Jackson Ortega around the football. Also, at the bottom of the pile for Rice, that was Larry Brown, the junior from Dallas. Picked up about a half a yard. It's third and goal with the nose of the football. Now just inside the 1-yard line. Lane, touchdown. Over the top, the junior from Alvin, Texas, George Lane, his 6th touchdown of the season, his 4th rushing touchdown of the year.
Well, the predictable play on that, Dave, was LT. He has always been the man that the Frogs go to down on the goal line. And normally, you see Tomlinson diving over the stack. This time you see George Lane from down at Alvin going over the top for TCU's first touchdown.
Kay Lackey tacks on the extra point. Now a perfect 28 of 28 in point after attempts this year. TCU, a time-consuming drive, and they've got a 7-0 lead.
Living here in Texas, making friends each day. Going straight down to the party, Miller Lite in this big case. Sabor Texas, Sabor Texas, Miller Lite. Downtown at the party, go Miller Lite. Being true to Texas, she's true to you. Sabor Texas, Miller Lite.
Do you, TCU? Do you, TCU? It's such a family-friendly thing to do. Call 257 from Do You, TCU. We're your home team. Come join your home team rally out here on Broad Alley, where families go to get their game face on. Do you, TCU? A family-friendly thing to do. Do you, TCU? We're your home team.
Attention, Texas. History will be made in the first ever Fort Worth Classic. TCU. Texas. Texas Tech. It's a home state battle in downtown Fort Worth. The TCU Horned Frogs go up against the Big 12. For one hot ticket on December 28th, call 817-257-FROG.
All right, the Horned Frogs of Rice, rather of TCU, with a 7-0 lead now after a long time-consuming drive. 7:05 to go in the first period. We anticipated that it would be LaDainian Tomlinson taking the mail over the goal line, but instead it was George Lane, a 1-yard touchdown run.
Well, that was a very time-consuming drive, 7 minutes and 55 seconds, 17 plays, probably the longest time of possession for TCU this year. And both of these coaches approached the game that if you can control the clock and control the plays, then you will be in total control of the game. And TCU was successful at that on this opening drive.
Chris Kalaki with the kickoff to Rice, and it will go out of bounds. And so the Owls will have it 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. Outstanding field position for Rice. And when you talk about Rice, obviously, you're talking about the spread option. Quarterback Corey Evans had a great game last week. Threw for a touchdown in the first half against Hawaii at home. Ran for 2 more scores.
They've chosen to take it at the 35-yard line. 1st down.
Dave, this offense depends greatly on his quarterback, but unlike a passing team, these quarterbacks for Rice will be carrying the ball a lot. They are the 2 leading rushers on this Rice football team, and Evans is in for the start.
We'll see 2 quarterbacks today. Evans will start, but I'm sure we're going to see Jeremy Hurd, the freshman, the redshirt freshman as well. And that's James Tyler, the junior fullback from Austin, Texas, on the carry. Goes right up the middle. Had a good game last week against Hawaii. 3 carries for 56 yards, including a 39-yard gainer. Here are your backs and receivers for the Owls of Coach Ken Hatfield. Evans, the quarterback. Tyler, the outstanding fullback. White and Bradley will start the game, but we'll see a bevy of running backs. Brandon Manning is a tight end. Gavin Booth, the freshman wide receiver, caught a touchdown last week against Hawaii. And up front for Rice, Rod Bevan, the left tackle from Austin, is the best of the bunch.
Dave, TCU was offsides on that first play, and they're going to have a step off here, and Rice is going to start 1st and 5 from about the 40-yard line.
Offsides on the defense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay 1st down. Please reset the clock at 6:56. 6:56.
Boy, talk about great clock management. Take the opening kickoff on homecoming and run nearly 8 minutes off the clock before you even give Rice a chance to take the ball.
Well, ball control is what Franchione really attempts to do. He was very successful, but the loss of Biasotti was not in the game plan in order to control the clock.
This is Evans. Going to let it go long. And the pass is incomplete. And he tried to throw it to Hurd. So Hurd has outstanding speed. Both the quarterbacks do. Now let's go ahead and take a look at that TCU group up front. And this is a group that's really key to great pass rush. Aaron Schobel at the defensive end is a real star there. Chad Bayer leads TCU in tackles at his linebacking spot. Kenneth Hilliard came up with an interception last week, and that's a good group. The free safety, Curtis Fuller, is an outstanding player. It's 2nd down and 5 for Rice. Another outstanding running play, and that's Robbie Beck. That's the freshman fullback from Atlanta.
Rice was in an unbalanced set to the left as they brought their wide receiver over to the tight end side. And Rice will typically run towards their power set. So wherever they have the most men on a particular side of the football is where they like to run.
Beck had a 2-yard touchdown run in the 4th quarter of last week's win over Hawaii. And he really has gotten more and more involved in the offense at Rice. Jamie Tyler has been bothered all season, and last season, in fact, with hamstring injuries. Now it's 3rd down and a yard. On the option, Evans trying to turn the corner. He does. He's got the 1st down, and he is down at the 48-yard line. Aaron Schobel, good pursuit, brought him down from behind.
Aaron Schobel comes all the way from the left defensive end, all the way across the defense, and makes the tackle on Evans on that play. As Rice was able to come in a tight set, they motion toward the weak side. And another tendency that Rice has, Dave, is to run toward the motion.
Evans with a good carry. He came into this game as the leading rusher for the Owls with 373 yards. It's 1st and 10 for Rice. Their first possession following a long sustained drive by TCU. Going to throw. Incomplete. And a man, Gavin Booth, the freshman, right out of high school from Grand Prairie, was running wide open. Would have been 6 if he'd been able to put it on the money.
TCU must have had a busted coverage on that play, as there was no one lined up in front of the wide receiver, and actually Evans just overthrew him. He was wide open as Curtis Fuller went over to help out. But Gavin Booth, a great sprinter from South Grand Prairie, close here to Fort Worth. 2nd down and 10.
Evans to the right will keep it. And that is good penetration for TCU. Shannon Brazil was able to get in there and bust up the play.
Shannon Brazil is a great player for TCU. He's the leading tackler, a senior. So far this year, he has 47 tackles. He is a great one. Here you see him scrape across and wrap up Hurd, followed by Schobel, who is all over the field.
So it's third down and long, and this is really not the kind of situation you want to be in a ground-oriented offensive attack by Rice. So we'll see what they pull out of the bag on third down and 9. Evans is able to escape the rush, still on his feet, finally caught from behind. And that's Bo Schobel who was in there, and he makes the stop and brings him down, and Rice will have to punt the football.
Well, Bo Schobel is the cousin of Aaron. He's a redshirt freshman, came in and got the pressure. Actually, the entire defensive line had a shot at Evans at one time or another, and Evans is a very elusive back, and almost got out of there before Bo was able to stop him for about a 1-yard loss.
All right, Travis Hale is in to punt the football for Rice. And LeVar Veal hoping to get an opportunity to return it. And he will take it at the 6-yard line. Across the 10, and he's brought down at the 14. Dangerous place to take that football without a fair catch, but he did it. Meeks was there to make the stop for Rice.
Veal is a fearless punt returner, Dave. He is averaging over 14 yards per kick, and he will give Rice trouble.
TCU's got the football back. They lead Rice 7-0.
Ford F-150. It's the truck more Texans depend on. It's also the truck that gives Texans more payload capacity and now more value. For a limited time, get into a new Ford F-150, the best-selling truck in Texas with low 4.9 financing or $1,000 cash back. To get a new F-150 or to check out the Ford F-150 Super Crew, get to your Texas Ford dealer today and see why Ford is the best in Texas.
When it comes to our bodies, everyone is unique. Around 66% of us can curl our tongues, and 70% talk in our sleep. That's why Harris Methodist Hospitals deliver health care as individual as you are, through the healing hands of medical staff doctors and caring hearts of people truly dedicated to your well-being. That's what makes Harris Methodist Hospitals, well, unique. Harris Methodist Hospitals, healing hands, caring hearts.
When it comes to price, nobody beats iMasters, where you can get a free pair of glasses. That's any pair in the store, free. Just buy one pair and get any second pair of equal or lesser value, free. We won't make you choose your free pair from a limited selection. You can choose from thousands of name brands, free. So hurry in to iMasters, now open in the new Stonebriar Center near Foley's. Also at iMasters, get a complete pair of glasses for just $99.
Well, there's a fan that came prepared for homecoming. That's a good-looking outfit. And that's the only kind of outfit you can wear when you're 11th in the nation and undefeated. Looking good. TCU has the ball and a 7-point lead on Rice. Sort of a toga party motif down there.
Yeah, I don't know where they issue those uniforms. I've not seen those, Dave.
Here comes LaDainian Tomlinson. Boy, you know, even when there's not much room for LT, he hits the hole with an awful lot of momentum, and that time he just banged his way forward. There was really nothing there, and he picked up 2 yards. It's 2nd down and 8.
Stopped there by Scotty Huffman, who's an interesting story. His older brother Royce played for TCU, as did his father, and his grandfather played for TCU.
LaDainian Tomlinson, 9 rushes for 30 yards. Tomlinson last week, 119 and a touchdown. There goes LaDainian again, and he'll take it down to the 18-yard line, and it's going to be 3rd down.
Rice is stacked in there looking for the run. They know TCU is backed up here. Franchione generally elects to power the ball out of his own end zone, but you may see TCU opening it up a little bit to back the Rice defense off.
This time, Printers will operate from the shotgun. 4 wide receivers in the pattern, 2 to the left and 2 to the right. Printers, the protection is good, lets it go down the field. The pass is in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. Tried to get it to Kevin Brown. Brown couldn't hold it, and so now TCU's going to have to punt the football. And with Joey Biasotti injured, we're going to get a look at a new punter here. Here's another look at that third down play.
Yeah, coming from your left side, Kevin Brown there almost makes a spectacular one-handed catch, as he did get one hand on it, was not able to pull it down. And it looks like Chris K. Lackey will be doing the punting for TCU.
All right, so K. Lackey, who is handling the kickoff chores, the field goal chores, and now the punting chores today, is going to be busy against the Rice Owls. Gets it away in good shape. Short kick, fair catch called for at the Rice 49.
That's Herm there, the receiver, who is the third-string quarterback. Rice recruits great athletes to play quarterback, and as we saw early, Jeremy Hurd was out there playing wide receiver.
Yeah, Hurd won the job, the Rice quarterbacking job, in spring football. Started the first game against Houston, but suffered an injury, a finger injury on his non-throwing hand, and missed 4 games, and that gave Corey Evans a chance to get back in there and regain the starting spot. And on first down, they try the right side, and there's really not much room there as the TCU defense stacks it up.
Dave, Rice is known for running the spread option, and when people think of option, a lot of times they think of running the ball outside. But actually, Rice prefers to run the ball off tackle. That time they ran it to the halfback. You'll see later in the game to where both the fullback and the halfback lead into that tackle hole, and the quarterback will just follow them in there.
Leroy Bradley sees red when he sees purple. Last year, he rushed for a touchdown against the Horned Frogs. 7 carries and 50 yards, had a good game. And Evans just threw that one away, and that was probably a good decision.
Evans pass intended.
Rice was in an unusual formation for them. They were in the shotgun, and TCU did a great job with the pass route. There was only 2 receivers out. As you see it here, taken out of the shotgun. There's not a lot of pressure early, and then Chad Baer comes in to level Evans as he has to get rid of the football.
All right, so Baer makes his presence felt. It'll be third down and long. I mentioned the injury to Evans. He hurt his left knee in last year's third game against Texas, then suffered severe damage with a sprain the following week against Navy. Took him a while to come back, but he has come back. This is Evans, the keeper. And just nowhere to go. TCU's defense is right there. Stuart Ashley, the senior from Katy, Texas, ran him down from behind, and it's 4th down.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Rice does not like third and long situations, and that time they were staring at a 3rd and 9. TCU played the run fairly well as Evans cut it back inside, and good pursuit from the defensive tackle as Ashley came over and made the stop.
Rice set to punt the football. They get it away. And this will just get into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and TCU will have it 1st and 10 at their 20-yard line. Well, it's a true Texas basketball shootout coming up at year-end. The 2000 Fort Worth Classic, Thursday, December 28th, at the Fort Worth Convention Center. In Game 1, it's the Texas women taking on Coach Jeff Mitty's TCU women. Following that, Game 2, the Red Raiders of Texas Tech face Coach Billy Tubbs' squad. For tickets and more information, call 817-257-FROG. That's 817-257-FROG. 1st and 10 for the aforementioned Frogs. And LaDainian Tomlinson comes out of the backfield, takes the swing pass from Printers, and is knocked out of bounds at the 26-yard line. That's a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Well, Franchione finds another way to get the ball to LaDainian Tomlinson as they hit him on the swing pass, as Tomlinson moves out to the right, and Printers hits him on the run, and Tomlinson shows he can catch the ball as well as run with it.
2nd down and 4. 3 wide receivers, 2 to the right this time. Tomlinson, the lone set back behind Printers. Here comes Maiden in motion. And it's a pitch to LT. And he spins his way for a 1st down across the 30 up to the 32-yard line.
TCU's going on toss sweep to the left. There is a defender out there. Tomlinson makes him miss, cuts it up inside for a nice gain of about 7 yards.
Keep your eye on Jason Hebert. Came up from his spot to make the stop.
Looks like Tomlinson's going to be the workhorse again today.
2 weeks ago against Hawaii, had 49 carries in a single game. And here he goes again. He'll take it across the 35 and is up to near the 38-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Boy, these two teams love to control the football on the ground. They love to control the ball, possession, stats.
They really do. Rice this year, Dave, has controlled the time of possession in all 7 games that they've played. And in Hatfield's career at Rice, they have had ball control and time control with the ball in 41 out of 51 games played.
That's amazing. Draw to LT, not this time. They smell it out and they drop him. Pittman is there. Brown also at the bottom of the pile. And we have come to the end of the first quarter. A quickly played first quarter on homecoming weekend in Fort Worth. TCU leads at home after the first 15 minutes. 7-0 over the Rice Owls. We'll step aside from Fort Worth momentarily and return in a moment. You're watching WAC Football from ESPN+.
Excuse me. Yes. Could I get a glass of water, please?
Oh, sure. Anything else?
Now that you mention it, I could use a little more leg room.
At American Airlines, we're removing coach seats from every plane.
How's that?
To give you what you really want. More room.
Good.
On American, coach has more class.
Excuse me.
Williams is teaming up with the Western Athletic Conference to bring you the 2001 Williams WAC basketball tournament. All 9 WAC schools will bring their men's and women's teams to Tulsa March 6th through the 10th for 16 exciting games in 5 action-packed days. WAC basketball teams are some of the nation's best, so don't miss your chance to see them all at the 2001 Williams WAC basketball tournament. Call your school's athletic ticket office for tickets.
Welcome back to Fort Worth. TCU set to begin the second quarter. George Lane on the sidelines telling everybody about how he scored the only touchdown so far this afternoon. 1-yard touchdown dive by the Horned Frog fullback, the only score to this point. TCU 7, Rice nothing. Coach Franch hooking him up on the sidelines for TCU. We were talking about time of possession. TCU controlled the football. Harold Muckleroy for the majority of the first quarter, and they, on average, control the football about 5 minutes more than their opponents each game this season.
Well, Coach Franchione likes the running game, and that's how you control time of possession. When you're throwing the ball all over the lot, there's a lot of incomplete passes that stop the clock, and you lose time of possession.
And we begin the second quarter with a 3rd and 5 situation.
Timeout. TCU. First charge timeout.
All right, and TCU opts to burn the first of their 3 timeouts.
Timeout. Dave, we talked a lot about time of possession. In last year's game against TCU, Rice was able to hold the ball for 34.5 minutes to TCU's 25.5 minutes. A huge 9-minute spread. And during that big third quarter, the game was tied at halftime. Rice came out and put up 21 quick points on TCU in a short 4-minute span.
All right, let's head on down to the sidelines. What's up, Hal?
Well, I tell you what, guys, just found out they're taking Joey Biasotti to the hospital. They are going to operate on him immediately with that broken tibia. So he's on his way to the hospital. But interesting enough, as he was being carried off the field, the first thing he said was, did we get a first down? And then as he's being rolled across the Horned Frog bench, he said, go, guys, go get him. So he's going to the hospital right now to have an operation. Back up to David Harold.
All right, thanks so much, Al. We wish the best for Joey, obviously. 3rd down. And a long 5, 3 wide receivers, 2 to the left. Tomlinson the lone setback. Printers on a 3-step drop. Guns the football over the middle. Pass is complete. Gets it to the tight end Roberts, and he is very close to a first down. B.J. Roberts, the junior.
Dave, it looks like they're going to measure this, but it looks like he's about a half yard short of that first down.
You know, obviously, with TCU having such a phenomenally successful football season right now, we're getting into some real record territory. The Frogs' 11-game winning streak that they're currently on matches the school's second longest string from back in 1934 and 35, and it's the best streak in 62 years. So, fourth down in less than a yard. And Kalaki is in to handle the punting chores, his second punt of the day, and he sends a good one down the field. And this one is pulled in at the 14-yard line, and Helm really nowhere to go. Steps forward, and he is brought down at the 17 after a 3-yard punt return. Step aside momentarily from Fort Worth. The Rice Owls going for their 5th consecutive win over TCU, but they trail by a touchdown in the second.
TCU. Do you, TCU? It's such a family-friendly thing to do. Call 257 from Do You, TCU. We're your home team. Come join your home team rally out here on Frog Alley, where families go to get their game face on. Do you, TCU? A family-friendly thing to do. Do you, TCU? We're your home team.
It's payback time from your Dallas Mavericks. You asked for it, you got it. The Superstar Plan gets you the 10 biggest games this season. You'll see the world chapters and the best the NBA has to offer. Plus, you get the Mavs home opener versus the Milwaukee Bucks on Halloween night. And the fun of costume parties, contests, free bags of candy, and loads of fun for the kids. Call 214-747-MAVS or visit www.mavtix.com.
Get your hands up! Get your hands up!
Detroit was last night.
Want to get away? Now you can. Southwest has your ticket to freedom with Southwest Airlines fares that begin at $44.
You are now free to move about the country.
The Owls of Rice have the football. They trail TCU 7-0. Obviously, that guy knows where to get a good tattoo here in Fort Worth. On first down, Griffin on the carry that time for Rice. That is Anthony Griffin, the senior from Gulfport, Mississippi, on the carry. And he is bumped out of bounds at the 22-yard line. That's a gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7 for Rice. Now, Rice has played an awful lot of good football this year. They're a lot better than their record indicates. They're 1-3 in the WAC, 2-5 overall. They played 2 extremely difficult non-conference games against Oklahoma, and they played at Michigan. They won the battle of the statistics against Tulsa, but lost to the Golden Hurricane. Turnovers and key penalties really hurt them in that game. Evans, nowhere to go. Aaron Schobel got him high and hitting him low for the Horned Frogs. That was Adrian Lewis.
TCU sniffed that one out as Evans was wanting to follow the fullback through the hole. Here he goes. He's wanting to lead right up through the hole. There is Aaron Schobel, who has had a great career at TCU. He is up for a lot of defensive awards, including the Lombardi Award this year.
Schobel's a good one, no question about that. It's 3rd down and 8. Evans back to pass. The protection is good, sending this one down the field. And once again, Rice has players running open in the TCU secondary. That time it was the back Bradley, and they just misfired on that long pass. And you can see there's an awful lot of conversation going on right now in that TCU defensive secondary. That's the 2nd time that the Owls have sent someone out that's been wide open, and they've been unable to connect for 6.
Rice loves to fake one way and throw back opposite of that. This time they fake left, throw back to the right. And you can see the back coming out of the backfield was wide open. Charlie Evans was there to kind of cover up at the end. And you saw Gary Patterson, the defensive coordinator, giving Evans a little bit of encouragement.
Here's Travis Hale back to punt again. His cousin Mitch Wills played for the Oakland Raiders. Sent this one down the field, and retreating was LeVar Veal trying to get to the wide side. A little stop-and-go action. He was able to avoid the first wave and then stepped up into the traffic and got what he could get down to the 34-yard line. And Harold, let me tell you, big game in college football today. Obviously, this TCU Rice game is huge, but a lot of the eyes of the nation were on Oklahoma and Nebraska, 1 versus 2 in the first released BCS ratings. It's over. The Sooners have won. Nebraska has lost. And right now, TCU, with 11 straight wins, they hold the nation's longest current winning streak.
That is absolutely unbelievable. Who would have ever guessed 3 years ago when Dennis Franchione inherited a TCU team that was 1-10, 3 years later would be the leading, has the longest winning streak in the nation.
Cedric James.
Well, that pass was right on the money from Printers.
Number 24, Josh McMillan, the defender.
Cedric James out there, and Printers threw a rope to James, hit him right in the chest.
Flag is down. And looks like this one is going to go against the Horned Frogs. Relatively penalty-free first quarter.
Based on where that flag was thrown, I think we can expect a holding call here.
13 flood, corner, 39 arm.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay first down.
You know, field position is a big part of this game, and so far TCU has been bottled up on their end of the field. This is actually their best field position of the day, but still they're a long way from the goal line as they started on the 33, and now will work from the 23.
First and 10 from the 23-yard line. Rice in a 4-3 formation, defensive alignment. Play action, fake to LT. Now Printers will throw, and he's got a man wide open. Cody McCarty.
I'll tell you, that's Tim Maiden out there, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, TCU has some double numbers, but that's the senior wide receiver, Tim Maiden from Dallas Carter, whose brother, Terrence Maiden, plays linebacker for TCU. A great play, as you can see, TCU throwing the ball down the field, and Maiden making a great catch there and getting out of bounds for a huge gain for TCU as they're down to the 42-yard line of Rice.
All right, so Maiden with the reception. And they are into Owl territory. First and 10 at the Rice Owl 42-yard line. Here comes Tomlinson. And not much running room for Tomlinson. Vanover shot through from his middle linebacking spot and held up LT, and then Tomlinson was brought down. He had to do a real workman-like performance just to get beyond the line of scrimmage for a 1-yard gainer.
Well, Vanover, who's substituting for the injured Joe Bob Thompson, who had the ankle injury last week, ran free on that play as he scraped off tackle and hit Tomlinson in the backfield, and Tomlinson was able to struggle for about a 1-yard gain.
Vanover had a sack last week against Hawaii. That was the first sack by Rice in more than 100 snaps. Printers all the time in the world, and he's able to complete the pass. So Maiden's got another one.
Well, Maiden appears to be the guy that Printers wants to go to right now, as he was able to hit him on a quick curl over the middle. And the Horned Frogs are moving the ball through the air for really probably only the second time this year. They move the ball pretty effectively through the air against Navy. They have not relied on the forward pass much, but here they go as he hits Maiden over the curl right in the middle of the Rice zone.
First and 10 for TCU at the 26-yard line. TCU with a 7-0 lead. Here comes Tomlinson. Danian Tomlinson carrying tacklers down to the 16-yard line. He put a couple of Rice Owls on his back and nearly picks up 10.
What a tremendous run there by Tomlinson as he burst through there. And then he shows his power. Tomlinson is an extremely strong back. He can squat over 625 pounds as he comes in there and just runs over the safety for Rice and carries them for a first down. It's first and 10, TCU at the 16.5-yard line.
And so TCU now in the red zone where they have scored in every opportunity inside the 20 this year. This is Tomlinson again. Squirts through the hole to the 10 and maybe the 9. Tomlinson has posted 8 consecutive 100-yard rushing games, and he is right on course to collect number 9 today.
Well, Tomlinson hits it right off tackle. Again, there's not a huge hole there, but he shows his ability as he follows Jeff Milliken, David Bobo, and B.J. Roberts right up the left side. Slides through for a nice gain of about 7.
Second down, and we'll call it a long 4 for Coach Fran and the Horned Frogs of TCU. To celebrate homecoming with a win over Rice this afternoon. You know, in the long history between these two teams, no school had ever won 4 straight against the other until the current streak that Rice has working against the Horned Frogs. Printers 8 of 10 for 103 yards passing to this point. Here comes LaDainian Tomlinson again. Bounced it to the left and fought his way down near the first down marker. Came up about a yard shy. It's going to be 3rd down and a yard.
Dave Tomlinson has great vision. As you saw him come to the line there wasn't much of a hole. He was able to stutter step and break it off to the left and really made a couple of yards out of something that really didn't exist.
They can see Tomlinson already with 17 carries, and we still have 10 minutes to go in the first half. 3rd down and just over a yard. Printers, Tomlinson, Rice trying to string it out, and he is very close to the first down marker. Needed to get inside the 6-yard line. Well, I thought Rice had that play well defensed.
Well, they had a lot of players to the ball. As you see, Printers pitch out here to Tomlinson. There are 4 defenders out there as they drag him out at about the 5.5-yard line. We're going to get a measurement on this play. And Dave, you were talking about Tomlinson and his carries. That was his 18th. You've got to be so strong to endure that type of work ethic. As you mentioned earlier against Hawaii, he had 49 carries. That's a first down for TCU.
It's going to be 1st and goal for the Frogs inside the 6-yard line. 18 carries for LT already this afternoon. That's amazing.
He is the workhorse, and statistics show that as the game goes on, he gets better. His best carries this year are his carries 21 through 30.
Here comes Tomlinson again. He's inside the 5, down to about the 3. Yeah, just to follow up on that point, Harold. When LT carries the ball in the game, carries 21 to 30, he averages 7.3 yards per carry. So he wears down the defense.
So without a doubt, plus he gets a rhythm, and he finds the seams. His line kind of gets into a blocking scheme that he's familiar with, and very few backs have the strength and endurance to make it to where during their 21st carry, they're that strong.
2nd down and goal at the 3-yard line. Terrence Dunbar is split out, and this is LaDainian Tomlinson into the end zone for the touchdown. A flag is down, however. Offsides, the call against Rice declined, and LaDainian Tomlinson in very familiar territory, the end zone, following a 3-yard touchdown run to extend the Frogs' advantage.
Tomlinson had a much larger hole there than he's seen all day long, as the right side of the TCU line blows a big hole in there, and then George Lane kicks out the linebacker, and he was way deep into the end zone before he was hit.
Kalaki is on to add the extra point. Shoots it through, and it's 14-0. LaDainian Tomlinson now with 46 career touchdowns. The senior from Waco's University High School, really having a great year. TCU 14, Rice nothing. Back to Fort Worth in a moment.
We've removed seats throughout coach to give you a little more room where you need it most. On American, coach has more class.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road. From up in Amarillo down to San Antonio.
Nothing makes the miles between the Panhandle and the Hill Country fly by like this, the Ford Mustang. And right now, you can hit the open road in one with 1,000 cash back. Stop by your Texas Ford dealer today and test drive the car that proves without a doubt.
Ford is the best in Texas.
Are you ready to take your career to the next level? SMU can help. We can teach you the latest technologies in e-commerce, Microsoft, Novell, Oracle, Unix, and Cisco, and programming languages like C, C++, Java, and Visual Basic. It's not going to be easy, but for those who put in the effort, these courses can change lives. New skills, new technologies, SMU's got it. Are you ready?
Well, there's a couple of future Horned Frogs right there. They already got the sign language down. TCU 14, Rice nothing. 9 minutes to go till halftime. LaDainian Tomlinson just went into the end zone. 3-yard touchdown run. So Rice set to answer. So far this afternoon, Harold, it's been a game of long possessions.
Well, without question, TCU has done a great job of controlling the ball. Kalaki kicks this one out of the end zone and is going to put Rice backed up on their 20-yard line again. As again, the game of field position has been push the ball as deep into the other person's territory as possible.
To see today's game highlights. What's your Sunday before the start?
TCU with a big edge thus far in the time of possession. They've controlled the football already this afternoon. Almost 15 minutes. 15 of the 21 minutes played thus far in the first half. Just under 9 minutes to go till halftime. By the way, it's homecoming here at TCU, so stay with us at halftime. We've got lots of great halftime activities coming up. We're going to talk to the head basketball coaches of the women's and men's program here at TCU. Have a special feature on LaDainian Tomlinson, so don't break away at halftime. Stay right here with us. Corey Evans, the quarterback with the keeper, he found some room that time around the left side. Nice gainer on first down, picked up about 6 yards.
He's brought down there by number 48, Chad Bear, who's the number 2 tackler on TCU's team this year with 59.
So here's Evans. He's got outstanding speed. He can run a 10-4 in the 100 meters. Again, trying the left side. Sean Worthen, how about that? He's like a dancing bear in there at the nose tackle position. Just bounced right outside and brought Evans down from behind, shy of the first down marker. It's going to be third down and about 4.
Worthen has tremendous speed and agility. There you see him, number 95, the big guy, 6'2", 302 pounds from San Antonio. He is a tremendous football player. Coach Fran really thinks this young man has a great opportunity to play on Sundays next year.
He can bench press 530 pounds, one of the strongest Horned Frogs. So here we go, third down and 3 for Rice. Evans, play action, sends it down the field, pass is caught, first down. And that's Manning, the tight end, made a fine catch, laying out, makes the catch and keeps the drive alive, but a flag is down in the backfield.
Flag down.
This one is going to go against Rice.
Looks like we got an unsportsmanlike conduct call against Rice on this, as that ball was completed to the tight end. He was dragging across the middle. Discussing this option here with the TCU defense. You know, Dave, Rice is not known for its passing game, but one thing that they have shown a tendency for when they do pass, they love to throw away from their motion that they establish. If they flow to the right, they'll always throw back to the left.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. 15 yards from the end of the run, 1st and 10.
Ooh. So, Rice gets the first down, but the mark-off will come after the pickup of the first down. So Manning's catch will stand, and that was a fine play for the junior from Mahia, Texas. You're talking about the Rice passing game. Travis Thompson also plays tight end for Rice, and this is the first time since 1992 that Rice has had 2 tight ends catch a pass in the same season. Not game, season.
That's remarkable. That is just absolutely an unbelievable statistic. But it does show you how much they depend on the running game.
1st and 10 from the 17. And that time, Jeremy Hurd slipped into the game. And it didn't fool the TCU defense, not even a little bit. That's a loss of 2. It's going to be 2nd down and a dozen. There's Hurd, the redshirt freshman from Duncanville, Texas.
Rice has had a great success recruiting in Duncanville, as Travis Hale, the punter, is from Duncanville. In fact, when we talk about recruits, Rice has 19 players from the Dallas-Fort Worth area on their team, and TCU has 19 players from the Houston area on their team.
Here goes Hurd. Looks like he wants to keep it again, and he does. Oh, and he lets the ball go loose at the last minute. I mean, Hurd was halfway down before he pitched it out to White, and that play worked.
The TCU defense does a great job of stringing this ball out, and this ball is very close to being pitched forward. It's ruled as a fumble. As you see Hurd here going to his left, TCU defense stringing it out. And you couldn't really tell from that angle as Curtis Fuller came up and put a big hit on Jeremy Hurd.
Well, you called it, Harold. That was very close to being a forward lateral. 3rd and a short 6. Hurd will try the right side. Late pitch. Ball's loose. Picked up, recovered by Fuller. He's got it for TCU at the Rice 11-yard line.
Curtis Fuller makes a tremendous play here as he is coming up and putting pressure. He has actually got the pitch man on the play. The ball bounces straight up in the air. Here as you see Hurd moving to his right, he really makes a bad decision, makes a bad toss. Curtis Fuller almost was in the end zone with a touchdown there, as he is coming up and catches it on the first hop. Russell Gary puts a big stop there on the quarterback, and then there's Curtis Fuller for the big play for TCU.
Well, Rice leads the WAC in turnover margin, but there they make a big mistake, and Fuller nearly took it to the house. Here's Tomlinson inside the 10, keeps the legs churning and down to the 7-yard line for a gain of 4.
TCU's pounding it right up the middle there, followed Victor Payne right off his left guard, and picked up about 3 yards on that play.
So on 2nd down and 6, ball resting at the 8-yard line. TCU can pick up a 1st down without scoring a touchdown. Printers, 3-step drop, sends this one to the end zone. Pass is knocked away. Good defensive play for Rice. That was Josh McMillan.
McMillan made a great play there, number 24, as Printers is trying to hit Maiden in the corner of the end zone. Maiden actually had a little bit of a step on him, but McMillan was able to close on the ball and knock it away.
Yeah, McMillan knows a little bit about
TCU. 2nd timeout.
Making outstanding plays. His cousin is Vernon Dean of the Washington Redskins. So TCU wants a timeout here.
TCU, 2nd timeout.
To talk over this 3rd down and 6.
Clock
stopped, 4:58 to go in the first half. Harold, let me ask you, last week, TCU really had problems moving the football on the ground against Tulsa. How much time do you think Rice and their defensive coaches spent this week taking a look at what Tulsa was able to do that nobody else, frankly, has been able to do against the Horned Frogs this year?
Well, I think without question, a good coaching staff like Ken Hatfield has is going to watch the tendencies and the ability that what Tulsa was able to do to stop TCU, and I'm sure they've implemented some of that. On the other hand, Rice has got a good defense. Tulsa reverted to a lot of stunning and twisting in their defensive line last week. Rice has done some of that today, but they've played a lot of heads-up defense and their base defense. But Hatfield did not become the 10th winningest coach in college football today. by not being smart.
Boy, that's an understatement. Of course, he had a great run at Clemson, at Arkansas, Air Force, and now at Rice. 3rd down, 6. James in motion. Printers on the play action. Across the middle, incomplete. Looking for LaTerrence Dunbar in there, and it's 4th down. And Chris Kalaki will come on.
That one was almost intercepted. Jason Hebert, the free safety, came over and knocked that ball down and almost had it. Printers threw a rope at that time, and it may be the speed of the pass that the reason Hebert didn't catch that.
Kalaki is on to attempt the field goal. This one will come from the left hash mark, just inside the 15-yard line. So this will be a 24-yard attempt. He's 7 of 8 on his field goal attempts this season. And he fires it right through. So TCU is able to take advantage of the Rice fumble, and they convert it into a 24-yard field goal by Chris Kalaki. 4:50 to go till halftime. TCU 17, Rice nothing.
Learning to change the world. Horned Frog.
Opportunities.
Technology.
Business.
People are friendly.
Education.
Student government.
Teamwork.
Knowledge. Class size.
Tradition.
Encouragement.
Because I like the challenge.
E-commerce.
Community service. Faculty.
Study abroad.
Purple.
Fort Worth.
Leadership.
Learning to change the world.
Remember college?
I bet you do.
I bet you do.
Remember the highs, the lows,
The pressure.
the party?
Are you kidding me? You're going to risk your hard-earned cash
Take food off your table,
betting on
18-year-old kids. You might as well.
Throw your money away.
Fool.
Fool.
So watch our games for this kind of
This kind of action.
not this.
Not this.
Because if you're banking on me,
To make your day?
don't bet on it. Don't bet on it.
This season, the biggest battles will be fought in only one place. The big matchups, big plays, and big moments. The big games are on K-Star 49. All-star Michael Finley and the Dallas Mavericks set their sights on postseason glory. And Tuesday, the season opener, Ray Allen and the Bucks show they got game. Coverage begins at 6:30. Mavericks countdown. The big games are on K-Star 49.
Well, TCU, the Horned Frogs, extend their lead. They cash in a turnover from the Rice Owls with a 24-yard Chris Kalaki field goal. It's 17-0. Obviously the largest lead of the first half by TCU. Horned Frogs with a little revenge on their mind. They've lost 4 straight in this series to Rice, but right now they lead by 17 as Chris Kalaki gets the good foot into that one, and it'll be a touchdown, and a touchback rather, and Rice will start 1st and 10 from the 20.
Dave, we hadn't talked much about the weather today, but there is a strong breeze coming out of the south, and I'm sure that's helping Kalaki as he's kicking from the south to the north. Other than that, though, what started out to be a very overcast day is still overcast, but you're seeing a little bit of the sunshine, and maybe we're going to be fortunate to not have that rain like we had last week in Tulsa.
Oh, that was the worst.
I know Hal J. enjoyed that rain down there on the sideline.
We were lucky that he was able to get his whole haircut thing worked out. Remember how he looked like a drowned rat last week? There we go. Rice has got the football, and they will start on the ground, and they'll give it to the dependable Jamie Tyler, and Tyler goes off the right side, takes it for a yard. It's 2nd down and 9.
Dave, this TCU defense has had an incredible run against rushing teams. In the last 11 games, TCU has given up only 651 total rushing yards. That's an average of 1.9 yards per attempt. Incredible.
I can top that. I can top that after this play. 2nd down and 9. Evans. Protection is good across the middle. Pass is incomplete. Tried to get it to Gavin Booth, a freshman wideout. Incomplete. All right, I can give you one that's better than that. How about this? How about the fact that TCU hasn't given up a second quarter touchdown all year long?
That is really the important one.
Top
because
that.
score, yeah,
Top
score
that.
is what counts. TCU has given up a total of 6 touchdowns all year, and they've all come in either the first or fourth quarter.
Yep, 4 in the first quarter and 2 in the fourth.
Okay, I'm going to one-up you then.
All right, so name that tune.
So far, TCU has outscored their opponents by 179 points.
I don't know if I can come back from that. Here comes Evans on the keeper. Oh, nice move to get outside. Turns the corner. And he was down. No fumble on the play. He's ruled down, and he was brought down shy of the first down marker. Dragged down at the 28-yard line. Needed the 30. And Evans, oh, man, if you're a Rice fan, you don't want to see Corey going after that knee.
Well, he showed how elusive he really is as he was back to pass that time and then scrambled out of the pocket. And Charlie Owens made a fabulous tackle for TCU. Charlie, number 17, came in there and stopped Evans about a yard short of the first down. Sure hope Evans is not hurt.
He's really come back from an awful lot of rehab to be able to play after the knee problems that we described earlier in the first half. He showed really great quickness on that carry. Here's another look at the play.
You see Evans working out of the shotgun, and actually it's just a quarterback draw that's called. He does a great job of eluding a couple of defensive players, and then Charlie Evans brings him down by the shoulder pads and stops him a yard short. These Rice quarterbacks have tremendous athletic ability. They're all extremely fast and quick, and they have a history. That was pretty close to a fumble there. They have a history of being the top rushers on the squad and extremely athletic, and they recruit a lot of quarterbacks that end up playing other positions. Earlier this year, Wolf was quarterback for Rice as he came in after the injured Jeremy Hurd and Corey Evans were hurt, and Ben Wolf came in and started and actually has been their most productive passer for the year.
Yeah, the 3 quarterbacks that play primarily for them, he is the best passer, no question about it. All right, so Evans is on his feet. And he's leaving the game under his own power, and obviously that's a good sign. So with Evans out of the game, Jeremy Hurd will climb back under center. Now, Hurd's last experience at quarterback for Rice was not that pleasurable. He nearly was called for a forward lateral on a play that kept a drive alive, and then later a late pitch led to a fumble that was recovered by Corey Fuller at the Rice 11, and the Horned Frogs converted that turnover into a 24-yard Chris Kalaki field goal. That happened just about 90 seconds ago in elapsed game time. Now we're down to about 3.5 minutes to go till halftime. TCU, and look at Rice going for it. 4th and 1 at their own 29-yard line.
It looks like they're trying to draw TCU off sides. And what a great heads-up play. I mean, they came to the line of scrimmage, jumped up there very quickly to make TCU think they're going on a quick snap. TCU, being very disciplined, decides not to jump off sides, and Rice is forced to call a timeout, and I suspect we'll see a punt here from the Rice Owls.
Well, you can see the Rice a well-coached team even after that timeout. The offense is just now leaving the field. So here comes the punt team for Rice.
Dave, earlier you talked about some of the disappointing losses that Rice has experienced this year. They're really, in my opinion, a much better team in their record. Against Fresno State just a couple of weeks ago, they had an 8-point lead with about 4 minutes to go in the game and ended up losing that. And I know it was a very devastating loss for them. And as we all know, Fresno State is one of the best teams in the WAC.
This is Hale, set to punt again. Gets it away. Fair catch. Caught for at the 41-yard line by Lamar Field.
Fair catch at the 41.
So with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go before halftime, TCU has the football. They have great field position, and they have time to tack on another touchdown. Yeah, talking about that Fresno State game. That was really a devastating game for Rice. It was a game they played at home. They led most of the way. They had an opportunity to go up 11 points late in that game, but the field goal by Derek Crabtree was missed, and Fresno State came storming back, and they won that game. Two fakes. Printers going to send this one down the middle of the field, and it is caught. Lane had it, lost it. Hebert with the interception. George Lane had it in his hands. Could not hold the football. Hebert comes up with the interception.
Well, this was a perfect pass from Casey Printers to George Lane, who hits him right in the chest on the run. Here we get another look at it as TCU fakes the end around and then goes for the fullback, George Lane, right up the middle. The ball hits him right in the chest, and then as he juggles it, Hebert comes around to make the big interception. Perfect pass from Printers. You can't count that interception against him.
And give lots of credit to Scott Huffman. When the ball came into Lane, Huffman pulled his arms away, and Hebert was able to make the pick. A big play for Rice. They needed that badly. This is Hurd. Takes it straight up the middle, and he finds good yardage down to about the 25-yard line. Was there a fumble on the play? No, they're going to rule him down. So Hurd's been a little loosey-goosey with that football since entering the game.
Well, they ran the play that I described earlier where they run a power play right off tackle with the quarterback. He fakes the option to the fullback up the middle. The lead halfback comes in, and Hurd has got 2 extra blockers as he goes upfield and picked up about 8.5 yards on that play.
Not too much happening that time for White. White is near the first down marker, but he is shy of it. It's going to be 3rd and less than a yard. You know, Hebert made that great interception last week against Hawaii. Rice really came to the front as far as interceptions were concerned. They had 5 in the game, and their outstanding offense, or their outstanding outside linebacker, Dan Dawson, had 3 interceptions in that game.
Dawson is the team leader with 5, and speaking of interceptions, that was their 14th interception of the season, which is the most they've had since 1993 as a team.
Best ever for a Ken Hatfield coach team at Rice. They do pick up the first down that time as Tyler burrows ahead, and he is up to the 32-yard line.
Jamie Tyler there, number 37, is a big back for Rice. Comes from Austin Westlake, which is known for producing powerhouse football teams. And Jamie has had his best performances against TCU. Look at those statistics.
Unbelievable. TCU's defense that leads the nation in total D and scoring D, holding Rice off the scoreboard. Only 32 offensive yards here in the first half. Try to slip the ball to the fullback, nowhere to go.
Well, there was both linebackers, Bear and Brazil, along with Aaron Schobel, just totally shutting down that inside game for Rice. You know, speaking of the TCU defense, we talked about they are the #1 defense in the nation, averaging giving up 246 yards per game, and have only allowed 8.5 points per game.
Second down and 10. Hurd, ball's loose.
Chad McCarty's got it.
Yep. Another fumble. So Rice that led the WAC, and they were 11th in the nation in turnover margin coming into this game. They turn the football right back over to the Horned Frogs.
Well, Hurd's going to keep it on the mesh, and there's Shannon Brazil who's coming on a stunt, and the ball pops free. And Chad McCarty comes over from his defensive end position and recovers it for the Horned Frogs, and they've got the ball, Dave, on the 20-yard line with 44 seconds here, an opportunity to knock it in.
TCU has 1 timeout left, 44 ticks of the clock left to work with here in the first half. Printers back to pass all the time in the world. Now sends this one into the end zone into double coverage, and it's incomplete. Roberts had Hebert and Kenny Smith with him, and it sails harmlessly out of bounds.
Well, Rice does a fabulous job of taking the TCU receivers out of the play. Printers had a lot of time, the offensive line doing a good job. Rice has only had 6 sacks this season, and Printers just didn't have anybody to throw to. He actually took quite a chance there of throwing it into double coverage.
37 seconds left to go in the first half. Second down and 10. following the Rice fumble, TCU at the Owls 20. Already leading 17-0. Printers on the play action. Taking it right up the middle. Takes it down to the 12-yard line. Clock continues to run. 25, 24, 23 ticks left in the first half. And now TCU is going to have to burn their last timeout.
Timeout.
So with 21 seconds to go,
final timeout.
The Horned Frogs will be looking at 3rd down and 3 with the ball resting inside the 13-yard line.
Well, Printers was looking for Cedric James, number 13, his wide receiver, who had come into motion that time. As he motioned to the left, he ran a quick post pattern over the middle. Rice had done a great job of defending that, leaving Printers no option except to run the ball. He does a good job of getting up in the center of the field, gains about 8 yards. But TCU had burned a couple other timeouts earlier, Dave, and so this is a pretty critical play with only 21 seconds. I don't think they can afford to complete a pass in the field of play.
Harold McElroy, let's go ahead and take a look at the remaining schedule for TCU. Next week at San Jose State, then 2 home games back-to-back, Fresno and tougher than expected UTEP. The Miners having a great season. Last regular season game, the 24th at SMU. 3rd down and 2. Printers, the pitch to Tomlinson. Inside the 10, inside the 5, down to the 4. That's a 1st down. Clock will stop long enough to move the chains.
Well, there's 14 seconds left here, and I suspect you'll see Printers just down the ball, spike it, and down the ball, as they will have time to get one more play off after this, more than likely.
3 wide receivers split to the left, and Printers will spike it, as predicted, with 11 seconds to go. Interesting formation. You had 4 wide receivers out that time, 3 to the left to the short side of the field when Printers opted to spike the football. So obviously, if you're TCU, you got to be thinking here, a sack is inexcusable. Everything has to be an incomplete pass or a pass into the end zone. What do you got? You got time for maybe 1 shot at it.
Yeah, I think this will probably be their only play as they are out of timeouts.
Printers back to pass. Protection is good. Sends it into the end zone for Dunbar, and the pass was knocked away. A good defensive play by Rice, and that was Greg Gatlin, sophomore defensive back from Houston.
Well, Gatlin did a great job. There was a little bumping going on down there that could have been called for interference. But as we mentioned, TCU not wanting to take a chance of not getting points on the board has sent their field goal team out, and Chris Kalaki will be attempting his 2nd field goal of the day.
If he hits this one, he'll just be 5 field goals away from the 2nd leading total career-wise in TCU history. Kalaki shoots it through. 22-yard field goal by Kalaki.
Well, Chris is now 10 of 11 for the year. He's had a great career here at TCU. Was a Lou Groza candidate earlier in his career. He's had just tremendous success. A great kicker, a walk-on, who has earned a scholarship at TCU.
So 4 ticks remain here in the first half. A good crowd today here in Fort Worth. Kind of a late arriving crowd.
I suspect a number of fans were glued to their TV watching that OU Nebraska game, but TCU fans have got a lot to be proud of with this team that's ranked at number 11 in the nation.
Yeah, we mentioned it. They're ranked 11th in the nation. They had an 11-game winning streak coming into play today, and with the Cornhuskers' loss to the Sooners, the Frogs now possess the longest current winning streak in college football. And I'm sure if you asked those guys right there, they would know that.
Without question, and I was thinking if I could find one of those uniforms, Dave, I'd get it for you.
You need an extra large toga. Get the king size. All right, Kalaki, he's been busy handling the kickoff chores, the field goal chores. He's been punting today in the wake of the injury to Biasotti. If you joined us late, Joey Biasotti had a broken fibia on his first punt attempt today. He's already gone to the hospital for surgery, and Kalaki is handling the punting chores as well. Chris sends this one down the field and through the end zone. So Rice has 2 timeouts left, but they have just 4 ticks left here in the first half.
Fans, join us each Thursday night live from John's Grill.
Well, as you look there at Dennis Franchione, the head coach for TCU, you've got to feel, Dave, that he is very comfortable and confident in his game plan and the way his Horned Frogs have played today.
Rice looks like they're going to be heading to the locker room down 20-0. Their starting quarterback, Corey Evans, appeared to suffer a knee injury. He left the game under his own power. Jeremy Hurd operating the offense now. He'll just take a knee, and the 2 teams will head back to the locker room. All right, we'll send it down to Hal, who's standing by with Coach Fran. Hal?
All right, Coach, the defense is controlling the game. The offense is controlling the clock. 20-0 lead. You got to feel pretty good.
Well, it's a good first half. We got a long way to go. We've been in this position before and didn't quite work out like we wanted to. It wasn't quite what this is, but we've played well. Defense has really done a nice job.
And the loss of Joey Biasati.
Well, and he's definitely a force. He had a great week last week. A reason why we won that game. That'll hurt us.
Okay, good luck in the second half. Back up to Harold and Dave.
All right, thanks, Hal. Thanks, Coach Fran. It's 20-0. Horned Frogs celebrating homecoming, leading. We'll have our halftime activities from Fort Worth in a moment. Stay with us.
Each day, going straight down to the party. Miller Lite in this big face. Sabor Texas. Sabor Texas. Miller Lite. Downtown at the party. Come Miller Lite. Be true to Texas, she's true to you. Sabor Texas. Miller Lite.
Do you, TCU? Do you? TCU, it's such a family-friendly thing to do. Call 257 from TCU. We're your home team. Come join your home team rally out here on Frog Alley, where families go to get their game face on. TCU, a family-friendly thing to do. TCU, we're your home team.
It's payback time from your Dallas Mavericks. You asked for it, you got it. The Superstar Plan gets you the 10 biggest games this season. You'll see the world champion Lakers twice, skywalking Vince Carter and his Toronto Raptors, and the best the NBA has to offer. Plus, you get the Mavs home opener versus the Milwaukee Bucks on Halloween night, and the fun of costume parties, contests, free bags of candy, and loads of fun for the kids. Call 214-747-MAVS or visit www.mavtix.com.
I'm serious about my burger.
Introducing Whataburger's new barbecue cheddar burger.
It's got some kick to it.
It's got grated cheddar cheese between 2 pure beef patties, barbecue sauce, pickles, and onions, all on a hot, fresh bun.
2 beef patties.
The melted cheese is incredible.
It's got pickles. It's got onions.
With the barbecue sauce.
It's tangy.
For a limited time, the barbecue cheddar burger.
It's working for me, and that's why I love Whataburger.
Whataburger. Real food, real fresh for real folks since 1950.
And we are back. It's halftime here in Fort Worth. TCU, the Horned Frogs, lead the Rice Owls 20-0. It's quite a way to celebrate homecoming, and they're trying to snap a 4-game losing streak in this series to the Rice Owls. All right, Billy Tubbs, the outstanding basketball coach of the Horned Frogs at TCU, has joined us. All right, early season practice. First, Billy, how about an update? What's going on with the Frogs?
Well, we're making a lot of progress. We need to make a lot of progress, but we're excited about this season. Our team's really working hard, and as I said, we're excited and looking forward to the season. Really, a week from this Monday, we play our first exhibition game. So, you know, we're in the process of developing lineups and developing our scheme. So it's going really well right now.
You know, you've been to the postseason, either the NCAA or the NIT, in 3 out of the last 4 years. Last year, you won 18 games, but didn't get a chance to go to the NIT. Are you using that as motivation for this year?
Well, we really are, but we're not motivating to go to the NIT. We're motivating to go to the NCAA tournament, and I think this team has a chance to do that. We're going to be better than we were last year, I think. We're a little bit quicker. Athletically, we're a little better. So our motivation is just strictly pride, and we want to win. We want to win conference championships. And so, you know, we kind of reflect back on that, but really haven't talked about that as much as what happened last year is what we're going to do this year.
A couple of questions about conference affiliation. This is going to be TCU's last year in the WAC. Where do you see the competition in men's basketball coming?
Well, I think it's going to be a great race, and I'm sure everybody's saying that, but I don't think there's one team that stands out head and shoulders above everybody else. And I think we're very comparable to the other teams in the league. SMU's pretty much been picked #1 in the WAC conference, but remember, we've beaten them something like 6 out of the last 7 times, so if they're #1, we ought to be in there somewhere.
How about some of the early games of the schedule? You got a big tournament that you're going to have here in Fort Worth.
Well, we're playing Texas Tech in Fort Worth in the downtown convention center, and that's on the 28th. Now, we've got a good tournament in Hawaii where we probably are going to play with Minnesota and Georgetown. Some of the early season games, a couple of exhibition games on the 6th and the 10th, and then we open the season on the 17th against Northwestern State. So really, a week from this Monday, we open exhibition season, and about 2 weeks from this Friday, we'll be playing our regular season.
Billy, let me ask you a question about the BCS that Coach Dennis Francione is going through right now. You know, in college football, there's no margin of error. TCU essentially has to go undefeated to have any chance to play in a BCS-sponsored bowl. That's totally different from college basketball. You know, you took Oklahoma to the national championship game. In college basketball, if you're playing your best ball at the end of the year, you still got a chance to win a national championship.
And that's true, but now the one thing that is still a little bit similar are there's some teams in the NCAA basketball tournament that qualify automatically. Otherwise, you have to be invited. And basically, that's what the BCS, or the BSC, whatever it is, they really can qualify and still not get invited because everybody is invited. They could even take the #1 team and not invite them. They're not going to do that. But certainly, I watch TCU football, and they're doing such a great job, and I believe that they deserve to be ranked higher than they are. But I think if they win out, but they not only need to win out, but they have to win out convincingly, as you know, then some other teams are going to fall by the wayside. And the way I figure it is TCU comes in 5th in the bowl rankings, and they're in.
All right, we're going to take
I've been wrong before, though.
No, but not very often.
Right.
Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of your players, and let's start with Ryan Carroll, your senior guard.
Ryan Carroll, been with us 4 years, our most experienced player, the guy that's seen a lot of action there on the dunk, great athlete, really having a very, very good preseason. Probably the first year that he's played that he's paying free, so we're looking for a lot from Ryan Carroll.
And you know, you've got more than just Carroll at the guard position. You got a lot of outstanding guards. Laster back there too.
Laster's been hurt, has missed a few practices, but good on penetration. Did an outstanding job, and one of the key things we have with Estelle and with Ryan Carroll is experience. That was what we were lacking at this time last year, and that's what we're very pleased with this year. We do have that experience factor in there.
And over your career, you've had a bunch of outstanding point guards. What about McIntyre?
Thomas is our starting point guard right now, and he is, again, he's a guy that's been in our program for 4 years, playing well, can hit the three, as you saw in that little clip right there. We expect him to be our point guard probably in the first game, but we got a lot of young players that's going to push these older guys. But Thomas and Ryan are the guys that are our most experienced players on our team.
Thomas McTire will be an outstanding point guard for you this year. You know, we were talking a little bit about going into the season. Your goal is obviously not the NIT. Your goal is the NCAA. TCU is going to be moving out of the WAC. You're going to be going to Conference USA. Once you get to CUSA, I would anticipate that more teams outside of the conference champion will be getting NCAA bids.
Well, no question. You can expect 5 or 6 teams from Conference USA, whatever those initials are.
I'm giving you a lot of letters today.
Yeah,
Conference USA, the BCS.
Right, but Conference USA will probably send 6 to 7 teams to the NCAA tournament. So that's an advantage, although if you win it, which is our goal, you're going to be in there. So the only place we're interested in any conference, whether it's USA or WAC, we want to win.
Billy, you got any thoughts on the different locations? You're going to be playing home games here in Fort Worth this season. You're going to be playing some on campus. You're going to be playing some downtown at the convention center.
We have 2 games downtown at the convention center this year. Our very first exhibition game a week from this coming Monday, and then we'll play Texas Tech in the convention center on the 28th of December. The Lady Frogs We'll play University of Texas. Remember them? Hey, 2 old Southwest Conference rivals, our men and women's team will play, so that'll be a great event. And we want people to get out there and buy season tickets and fill up Daniel Meyer Arena.
Billy, at what point in your career did you decide that high-octane offense was the way to go?
Actually, that was in my playing career that I decided that, because I played on a team that scored over 100 points a game, and the neat thing about that was that we won about 90% of our games. And so that's just been a way of life as a player for me. I liked it, and it's been very successful in our systems at Oklahoma, TCU, and Lamar.
All right, Billy, we appreciate you coming all the way up here and spending some time with us. Good luck this season with the TCU Horned Frog basketball team.
I appreciate that, and we want to see all these people watching the game and these people in the stadium in our stands.
I will certainly second that.
Okay,
that's Billy Tubbs, the head basketball coach at TCU. We've got more halftime activities in just a moment. TCU leads Rice 20-0.
This Craftmatic Model 2 electrically adjustable bed costs no more than many quality flat beds. And when you buy selected ones with optional heat and built-in massage, you get this fabulous bonus: a 25-inch color TV absolutely free. Call toll-free to receive complete free information by mail. In a flat bed, you have to use pillows to prop yourself up. But in a Craftmatic bed, you adjust yourself into comfortable positions automatically, so you can watch TV, read, and get a great night's sleep. Raise and support your head, neck, shoulders, back, legs, and feet at the touch of a button. Plus, there's optional heat and built-in massage to soothe you. Call toll-free so we can mail you our adjustable bed catalog and a certificate for a free 25-inch color TV with bed purchase. Call to get our free catalog and color TV certificate by mail now. There is absolutely no obligation.
Call toll-free 1-800-852-9600. That's 1-800-852-9600 toll-free. 1-800-852-9600.
Looking for tickets? You feel like rock and roll, rhythm and blues, or wrestling? Make a move. City Search it and make the most of your city. CitySearch.com.
When it comes to price, nobody beats iMasters, where you can get a free pair of glasses. That's any pair in the store, free. Just buy one pair and get any second pair of equal or lesser value, free. We won't make you choose your free pair from a limited selection. You can choose from thousands of name brands, free. So hurry in to iMasters. Now open in the new Stonebriar Center near Foley's. Also at iMasters, get a complete pair of glasses for just $99.
Are you looking to take your career to the next level? We have continuing education computer training classes that'll take you there.
Remember Puck, the Bites? The Bite, 5 days a week. Rewind to the beginning or see it all for the very first time. K-Star 49's The Real World, weekdays at 5.
Time activities in Fort Worth continue. It's WAC football from ESPN Plus this afternoon. TCU, the Horned Frogs, ranked 11th in the nation, 11-game winning streak. That's the longest current winning streak of any college football team in the nation. Lead the Rice Owls 20-0. Jeff Mitty, the women's basketball coach here at TCU, joins me now. Jeff, thanks for making it up here.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Let me ask you first about your club, voted 3rd in the WAC preseason rankings.
Yeah, I think that's probably about where I thought we'd be. You know, we have a good nucleus of returners. I think we've got some good influx of talent. I expected us to be somewhere middle of the pack. I hope we finish higher, obviously.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at your schedule and some of the early games in your schedule. We got a couple of exhibition games up there that we didn't know who the opponents were going to be, but I guess we do now, right?
Yeah, you know, when you schedule 4 exhibition games, we've got Russia coming in, and then we've also got a team out of Slovakia. They present you with an interesting challenge because you know very little about those teams.
All right, and you've got a great group coming back. You've got 8 returners from last year, and among that group, 5 seniors. So you got a veteran team.
Well, we do, and we've got the Sutton twins back. Karen Clayton is back as well. Janice Thomas, who is on the newcomer team for the WAC. We've also got Sally Spencer back. So it's a group that of seniors that really wants to go out on a high note. I think they've been complimented by the early group because our competition has been excellent.
Let me ask you a little bit about the recruiting class that you're bringing into TCU. Ranked 22nd in the nation. That's going to be very gratifying.
Well, a lot of hard work went into that class. The staff did a great job. I think what it really tells is that I think recruits are noticing the great things that are happening at TCU as a whole, as a university and an athletic department. But we're excited about that group. That's on paper only, so we've got a lot of work to do to become better as a basketball team.
You know, I mentioned that you finished third in the WAC preseason coaches poll for women's basketball in this league. Let's take a look. What do you think about some of the other teams that you're going to be in competition with there? SMU, Hawaii, Rice. These are all teams that have outstanding women's basketball programs in the WAC.
Well, those three played in the postseason a year ago. I expected them to be at the top. But I also expect us to be able to compete at the top. I think they've got good basketball teams, but when I look at our basketball team, I think we can match up pretty well with all of them.
All right, now I think we have the graphic. We're going to take a look at your schedule, the early portion of the schedule for the women's basketball team here at TCU. And there you can see the exhibitions, and then Yale, Tennessee, North Texas. That's good, strong competition early in the year.
Well, it is, and Yale will come in here on the 24th, and then followed up right away by Tennessee, who's won 3 championships in the last 5 years. They were in the championship game a year ago, runner-up to UConn. They've got a great basketball tradition, and we're going to try to sell out DMC. I know we had a coaching clinic here last weekend, and we sold some group tickets, and we sold over 1,500 tickets in about 30 minutes. So that's an exciting game to have here in Fort Worth.
Let me get back to your outstanding recruiting class. When you went out and recruited these outstanding players, and you got some JC players, some junior college players too, did you sell the fact that this program's going to be moving to Conference USA?
No question. That's an exciting move for us, and I think it's an exciting move for the players. It's a very strong basketball league. The Women's Basketball League has had as many as 5 teams in the NCAA tournament. Last year, 7 teams in Conference USA played in the postseason. So one more year in the WAC. We're going to try to take care of business there and then move to Conference USA.
Jeff, thanks so much for spending some time with us. Good luck with the TCU women's basketball program.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, that's Jeff Mitty, women's coach here at TCU. Now let's head down to the field where Hal's standing by. Hal?
All right, 20-0 TCU lead, and Rick Thompson is here with us, the general manager of ESPN Regional. And I don't know if it's the coaching or ever since TCU teamed up with ESPN, it's got to be the ESPN.
Yeah, we'll take credit whenever we can get it, Hal, that's for sure. Now, it's been a great relationship. We've been here about 18 months. Working with TCU in the athletic department. Of course, Coach Fran and the Frogs have done a tremendous job helping us do what we do, and that's really take the message of TCU athletics to the Metroplex community, and that's what we've done the best of all.
And ESPN is taking a step further in that with going into basketball now, the basketball season coming up with the Fort Worth Classic. Tell us what that is.
Yeah, this December, it's going to be the first year of what we hope will be an annual event in the Tarrant County Convention Center. It's going to be December 28th. It's 2 games, a doubleheader NCAA basketball. Our men are going to take on Texas Tech, and TCU women are going to take on Texas. December 28th, it's a Thursday night, right between the holidays, so it gives everybody something to do. Come out and see a couple of good basketball programs.
Okay, and where is this classic going to be held?
It's going to be at the Tarrant County Convention Center, right downtown Fort Worth. It's the first time any of the Frogs basketball teams have played downtown. So.
You know what, the good thing about this is maybe bringing back some of the old Southwest Conference rivals there.
Yeah, renew a couple rivals. Of course, University of Texas has a tremendous women's program down there. Texas Tech's been in the NCAA tournament in the last couple of years. They've got a good program. And I can't say enough about Coach Mitty and Coach Millie. They've just done a great job.
Well, all right, Rick, thank you very much for everything ESPN has done for TCU. It's been a great marriage so far, a great first half of this football game. Now let's go back up to Dave Weekly. Dave?
All right, Hal, thanks so much. We've got plenty more coming from Fort Worth in just a moment. TCU leads Rice at halftime 20-0.
Williams is teaming up with the Western Athletic Conference to bring you the 2001 Williams WAC basketball tournament. All 9 WAC schools will bring their men's and women's teams to Tulsa March 6th through the 10th for 16 exciting games in 5 action-packed days. WAC basketball teams are some of the nation's best, so don't miss your chance to see them all at the 2001 Williams WAC basketball tournament. Call your school's athletic ticket office for tickets.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Could I get a glass of water, please?
Oh, sure. Anything else?
Now that you mention it, I could use a little more leg room.
American Airlines, we're removing coach seats from every plane
How's that?
to give you what you really want. More room. Good. On American, coach has more class.
Excuse me. It's payback time from your Dallas Mavericks. You asked for it, you got it. The Superstar Plan gets you the 10 biggest games this season. You'll see the world champion Lakers twice, skywalking Vince Carter and his Toronto Raptors, and the best the NBA has to offer. Plus, you get the Mavs home opener versus the Milwaukee Bucks on Halloween night, and the fun of costume parties, contests, free bags of candy, and loads of fun for the kids. Call 214-747-MAVS or visit www.mavtix.com.
I'm serious about my burger.
Introducing Whataburger's new barbecue cheddar burger.
It's got some kick to it.
It's got grated cheddar cheese between 2 pure beef patties, barbecue sauce, pickles, and onions, all on a hot, fresh bun.
2 beef patties.
The melted cheese is incredible.
It's got pickles. It's got onions.
With the barbecue sauce.
It's tangy.
For a limited time, the barbecue cheddar burger.
It's working for me, and that's why I love Whataburger.
Whataburger, real food, real fresh for real folks since 1950.
Worth, the Horned Frogs at TCU lead the Rice Owls 20-0. LaDainian Tomlinson, 22 carries for 82 yards and a touchdown so far today. He sat down with ESPN's Shelley Smith.
Tomlinson's in touchdown, Texas Christian.
What is this building? What does it mean to you, seeing all this history here?
Well, it kind of reminds you of everything that has gone on at TCU. It just, really makes you, want to be a part of history, and you want yourself to be hanging up here, one day.
You've already got a lot of stuff hanging up here. Yeah. How much more do you think you're going to add to this collection?
Well, hopefully a lot more. I'm kind of a person that, while I'm here, I want to be known as perhaps the greatest player in TCU history.
Is that important to you?
Oh, yeah.
Why is that?
Well, that's my goal, and that's what I work so hard for. It's times when guys are in the house and I'm out there working by myself, doing the extra things. So that's why it means so much to me. But it's hard to do that with people like Dave O'Brien, Sammy Baugh.
That's a pretty big fixture looming over your head.
Yeah, that's pretty, that's hard to do.
So you walk up these stairs every day and you see this trophy.
See it.
What do you think? What do you think when you see it?
Well, I just think how it would look if mine was right beside it. Because I really feel like Dave O'Brien paved the way, and, it's been a long time since, 1938. My goodness, that's a long time, and, it's probably time for another person from TCU to win the Heisman.
You got 4 tattoos.
5.
5?
Yeah.
Why 5 tattoos? What went into wanting to do this?
Well, the first couple was kind of just a thing, And then it came to a point where I was getting the ones that I really, felt like was important to me, like the praying hands, the saying God's hands, and then my mother's, face and my inspiration on the top, and then finally my family tree.
Why was the family tree important?
Well, when we're growing up on hard times, sometimes, I want to tell them that they're the reason why I play so hard, the reason why I want to be so successful, and I just let them know what put my family tree.
When you look at these windows, and this is your career already.
Right.
And you come down and you think about what you might accomplish this year. How full is this window going to be?
Well, I don't know. I would like to take up, a lot of, that's just, what I would like to do. That's just the way I was always raised. Heart and determination is what carries a person. And that's something that has stayed with me throughout my whole life.
All right, that's LaDainian Tomlinson. He definitely is a great player, and I've been joined once again by Harold Muckleroy. And Harold, LaDainian Tomlinson still on pace to rush for 2,000 yards, and 5 of the 7 players in NCAA history who have done that have won the Heisman.
Well, LaDainian is a great football player. He's one of 5 from TCU that's been nominated to win the Heisman Trophy. And, of course, Davey O'Brien, little number 8, won that Heisman Trophy for TCU back in 1939.
All right, LaDainian Tomlinson isn't the only great player on TCU. They've got a bunch. Our second half is coming up. Stay with us.
When it comes to our bodies, everyone is unique. Around 66% of us can curl our tongues, and 70% talk in our sleep. That's why Harris Methodist Hospitals deliver health care as individual as you are, through the healing hands of medical staff doctors and caring hearts of people truly dedicated to your well-being. That's what makes Harris Methodist Hospitals, well, unique. Harris Methodist Hospitals, healing hands, caring hearts.
Ford F-150. It's the truck more Texans depend on. It's also the truck that gives Texans more payload capacity and now more value. For a limited time, get into a new Ford F-150, the best-selling truck in Texas with low 4.9 financing or $1,000 cash back. To get a new F-150 or to check out the Ford F-150 Super Crew, get to your Texas Ford dealer today and see why Ford is the best in Texas.
Are you ready to take your career to the next level? SMU can help. We can teach you the latest technologies in e-commerce, Microsoft, Novell, Oracle, Unix, and Cisco, and programming languages like C, C++, Java, and Visual Basic. It's not going to be easy, but for those who put in the effort, these courses can change lives. New skills, new technologies, SMU's got it. Are you ready?
This season, the biggest battles will be fought in only one place. The big matchups, big plays, and big moments. The big games are on K-Star 49. All-star Michael Finley and the Dallas Mavericks set their sights on postseason glory. And Tuesday, the season opener, Ray Allen and the Bucks show they got game. Coverage begins at 6:30. Mavericks countdown. The big games are on K-Star 49.
All right, we are back. TCU has returned to the field. They're facing the Rice Owls. They're leading 20-0. Now it's time to take a look, Harold McElroy, at our first half highlights. And we'll start out with a painful one for TCU.
Well, Joey Biasotti is hit on this punt, ends up with a broken fibula, and has been sent to the hospital for surgery. That's followed by George Lane going way over the top for a touchdown. And then LaDainian Tomlinson powers it into the end zone.
It would not be a half of football without an LTTD. And there's a fumble recovery by Corey Fuller. And that led to a field goal and another fumble. Jeremy Hurd coughs it up. The recovery is made by Chad McCarty. That led to another field goal. And it's 20-0. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our statistical breakdown of the first two quarters. And it's brought to you by American Airlines. And there you see the highlighted stats. That's not a misprint. Rice, their great ground attack, 11th in the nation coming into this game, producing only 34 yards in the first half, Harold.
Well, the TCU defense has totally dominated Rice this half. The numbers bear it out. And Gary Patterson, the defensive coordinator for TCU, and his defensive staff have done a tremendous job all year, and that is the reason they are the #1 defense in the nation.
And you can see the turnover is a big part of this game. Rice has really been doing a great job this year, taking care of the football, #1 in the WAC in turnover margin, but they had two big turnovers, and TCU turned them both into points.
Now, one interesting stat there we didn't talk about it. TCU has more passing yardage today than they have rushing yards.
Well, that's a real rarity. Here's Chris Kalaki with a second half kickoff, and he sends this one down the field, and White can only watch it sail out of the end zone. Sean White did not get a chance to return that one.
Kalaki's done an outstanding job on kickoffs today, as he's kicked all but one totally out of the end zone, and forcing Rice to start 80 yards from the goal line.
Well, Corey Evans started this game at quarterback for Rice, but was injured late in the second quarter. Looked like a knee. Of course, he's had some knee problems. So Jeremy Hurd, who had two fumbles for the Owls in the second quarter, starts the second half at quarterback for Ken Hatfield's Owls. Hurd going right. Can he turn the corner? Yes. Not a pretty play, but it did pick up 5. It's second down and 5 for Rice.
Well, obviously, Rice saw the pursuit that TCU had to the ball in the first half, and the way you normally slow pursuit down is to try a bootleg, so you do a counter option. So this time, Rice tries to go to the left, fake it. He bootlegs out to the right, thinking that TCU is over pursuing, and Curtis Fuller comes up and knocks him out of bounds after a 5-yard gain.
Hurd can really run with it. After he was injured in the Houston game, he was on the sidelines for 4 straight games. Then he rushed for a season-high 97 yards against Fresno State. And going right up the middle, that is Jamie Tyler. So Tyler finds good running room, and Rice picks up a first down.
Well, that was Rice's largest gain of the day as they come right up the middle. The linebackers for TCU, Shannon Brazil and Chad Baird, just barely missed there. Fuller gets run over, and then Russell Gary and Greg Walls come over to make the tackle.
And you're looking right over Coach Fran's shoulder there. Is TCU Horned Frogs with a 20-0 lead. We're just underway here in the 3rd quarter. Once again, that is Tyler. Well, you know, Tyler is thought by many to be one of the best fullbacks in the nation going into this season, and now we're kind of getting a little bit of an indication, Harold, of what he is capable of when he's healthy, when he stays away from the hamstring problems.
Well, he's a tremendous football player. 2 years ago against TCU, he rushed for 168 yards, which is his biggest game of his career so far. Big junior from Austin.
Yeah, back in 1998, he scored both Rice touchdowns, including one on a 46-yard run in a win over the Frogs.
Once again, Tyler on the...
And they just keep riding that horse. Tyler across the midfield stripe and into TCU territory.
Well, we've talked about the strength of these two coaches, and obviously Rice has come back with a different game plan the second half, blocking a little bit different up front, going to the big fullback, who they did not use much in the first half, and White is having a very good third quarter here.
First down and 10 for the Owls. This is Hurd, 3-step drop, looking to throw, pass is caught. Come on. So Rice completes the pass for another first down at the TCU 36-yard line, and that's Weber coming up with it. Matt Weber, a junior from Commerce, Texas.
Rice is doing a good job mixing up the ball here as they fake it to Jamie Tyler. Step back and hit the crossing wide receiver as he comes over the middle, and there's a lot of room there.
Wasn't a real pretty pass. Weber made a nice adjustment on that ball that was floating, pulled it in, and Rice with their best drive of the game. They really need a touchdown to get back into this game. 13 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Late pitch. This is White. And White is banged out of bounds by Charlie Owens. But it's another good pickup on first down. And they have the ball after a 5-yard gainer at the 32-yard line.
Dave, you mentioned first down and a good pickup on first down. The first half, Rice was unable to move the ball on first down, consistently got themselves in long yardage situations, which is not what a wishbone team wants to do.
No, not at all. Second down, and we'll call it a long 5. Hurd to Tyler. No, check that. Hurd kept it. Put it in the belly of Tyler. You know, that play may have fooled me, but it didn't fool Russell Gary. He was right there to make the stop.
Well, Russell Gary and Bo Schobel are there to make the stop on Hurd, and they fake to the big fullback Tyler, who's been making all the yards, try to mess up the TCU defense here. Here's they fake it inside. Hurd keeps it, and Russell Gary, number 33, right there, and Bo Schobel to help him out and stop Hurd.
All right, and some of the TCU defenders in the secondary imploring the crowd to get behind their effort. Big 3rd down and 4 here. Rice with the football, the handoff to Tyler, and he's got the first down. He goes across the 25 down to the 24-yard line. You know, if you're joining us late, we went on and on about the accomplishments of the TCU defense so far this season. They lead the nation in total D. They lead the nation in scoring D, giving up just over 8 yards a game. They haven't given up a touchdown in the second quarter all year long, and they haven't given up a touchdown in the third quarter all season long either. But Rice threatening here. First and 10 for the Owls at the Frogs 25. Hurd going to the end zone. Pass is knocked away. Outstanding play by Charlie Owens. He was all alone back there, one-on-one coverage, and he made the good defensive play.
Perfect timing on the play by Charlie Owens as this play is actually thrown away from the defender. Again, Rice uses play action. They've got a receiver pretty well covered by Owens, and then he does a tremendous job of knocking the ball away at the last minute and avoiding the contact for the interference.
So Rice uncharacteristically went to the end zone with a pass on first down. Now it's 2nd down and 10. This is Hurd throwing again, and the pass was incomplete. And you can see the frustration on Gavin Booth. He had a step on the defender, Kenneth Hilliard, but they just couldn't get the ball to lay in there.
Well, Dave, you also see that Rice is not used to passing. That was a timing route, and the timing was totally off on that as Hurd overthrew his receiver by about 5 yards.
So Rice runs the football all the way down the field to open the second half. But here at the TCU 25-yard line, back-to-back incomplete passes to the end zone. It's 3rd and 10. Hurd thought about the pitch, kept it, tucked it, took it down to the 19. It's going to be 4th down and a long 4.
Initial contact made by number 59, Terrence Mason.
TCU did a good job of defending this. It looked like there were some big numbers out there for Rice on the outside. And actually, Curtis Fuller there, number 18, does an outstanding job of faking Hurd out. He acted like he was going to take Hurd on the pitch and then went to the outside and sprung the play out.
How about that stat? Rice with more offensive yards on this drive than they had in the first half combined. And you can forget about the field goal team. Rice is going to go for it on 4th down. Timeout. But they're going to talk about it first.
TCU's done an outstanding job against their opponents as they've gotten into the red zone. And for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, red zone's inside the 20.
Ken Hatfield and Jeremy Hurd talking over a key 4th down play. We'll come back to Fort Worth in a moment.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Could I get a glass of water, please?
Oh, sure. Anything else?
Now that you mention it, I could use a little more leg room. At American Airlines, we're removing coach seats from every plane.
How's that?
To give you what you really want. More room. Good. On American, coach has more class.
Excuse me.
Attention, Texas. History will be made in the first ever Fort Worth Classic. TCU. Texas. Texas Tech. It's a home state battle in downtown Fort Worth. The TCU Horned Frogs go up against the Big 12. For one hot ticket on December 28th, call 817-257-FROG.
Get out of here.
What? You want to dance, old man?
Want strong bones? Calcium may help prevent osteoporosis.
It's 4th down and 4 for Rice at the TCU 19, opening drive of the second half for the Owls. Hurd, the pass, wide open is Booth, but the pass sails out of bounds. Incomplete. TCU's defense holds.
Well, that's got to be a great momentum buster for Rice after taking the opening kickoff here and marching the ball 56 yards down into TCU's red zone at the 19-yard line. Hatfield decides to go for it on 4th down, and here he goes with play action pass again. The wide receiver is over to the left on the stop and go pattern.
Oh, man.
And he's beat his man, Kenneth Hilliard, but the pass sails out of bounds.
Ken Hatfield's got to be frustrated on the sidelines, but I got to ask you, Harold, they ran the ball all the way down to the TCU end of the field, and then they threw on 3 of those 4 plays, and they turn it over, and here comes LT. Here comes Tomlinson. He turns the corner. He's banged out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
That's LT's biggest run of the day as he busted off a tackle for about an 18-yard run. Here you're going to see him. There's a huge hole over on his left side as he's able to get out there and then just outrun the inside pursuit. Takes a pretty wicked blow there on the sidelines and was a little slow getting up.
And for Tomlinson, we've got him unofficially now at 100 yards on the day. And if that is correct, that will be 9 consecutive 100-yard rushing efforts by LaDainian Tomlinson, the senior from Waco, Texas.
Dave, you know, Tomlinson holds almost every rushing record that TCU could ever keep track of, and he just set one more. He was tied with Andre Davis with 16 100-yard games in his career, and with this effort today, he now has number 17. One more record for LT.
Kenneth Davis was a great running back for TCU in the early 80s. LaDainian Tomlinson, okay, so that was 1 yard off the total. 23 rushes, 101 yards, and a touchdown for LT LaDainian Tomlinson to this point. Have a little bit of a delay down on the field as one of the defenders for the Rice Owls was shaken up on the play, knocking LT out of bounds, and now he is leaving the field.
There's LaDainian Tomlinson, obviously Heisman Trophy candidate, the greatest running back in TCU history, led the nation last year with 1,850 yards, including a big 406-yard effort against UTEP, who will be coming to town here in a couple of weeks. And Dave, UTEP has been the surprise of the Western Athletic Conference this year as they're 5-0 in conference play.
Yep. No question. UTEP has really had a great season. The minors program is really fired up. And the player who had to leave injured just moments ago on that tackle of LT was Kenny Smith. So the injuries continue to mount for the Rice defense. We'll go into that in just a moment. Printers on the play action. Swings it out, incomplete. Roberts, his tight end, was in the vicinity, as was Cedric James, but it's probably just as well that pass went incomplete because there were plenty of Rice defenders around. The defensive injuries for Rice have really been mounting up. Cornerback Patrick Dendy out for the year with a collarbone problem. Defensive end Jarrett Irwin had a knee, did not play today. We expected to see B.J. Forgeson get some snaps today. He's been in there just a little bit, but he's not in playing shape. Rice went from having 14 healthy down linemen to just a half dozen. Here comes Tomlinson again. Tomlinson with a great move to midfield and beyond. Brought down at the Rice 49.
Well, Dave, we mentioned earlier about Tomlinson gets stronger as the game goes on, and those carries between 21 and 30 are his best. And he's in that zone right now as he's had his 2 best runs of the game here the second half. Great lateral move, and then sidestepping the safety as he comes up. And Tomlinson is on a roll.
Tomlinson is the lone setback, and as you might expect, he gets the ball. And this time, Rice is waiting for him. Vanover was right there to make the stop. You know, you start thinking about what makes LaDainian Tomlinson so tough, and we've seen some of the great characteristics that he has as a running back on this drive. He bounced one play to the outside, beat the defensive back to the corner. Had a carry one play ago in which he made some great lateral moves. He's got great stop-and-go ability, just the total package that you would want in a college football running back. Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. Printers, pass, complete. And James, discretion is the better part of valor as he ducks out of bounds at the 43-yard line of the Owls. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Cedric James was wide open in the right flat as Printers delivers it to him over there and has a little running room. Here's James, who had gone in motion, is wide open over there. And then Rice pursuit comes in from the inside, and Dan Dawson pushes him out of bounds.
So here we go. It's 3rd down and 3. 4 wide receivers for Printers. They are trips to the left. LT, the lone setback. And here he comes. He's got it. Got a good block at the point of attack across the 35 to the 34-yard line. Another well-executed play by the Frogs, and the drive stays alive. And we saw on that play something that we did not see all last week in a rainy night in Tulsa, a clutch third down conversion.
So we did, and the Frogs have been much better on third down today than they were in Tulsa when they never converted one. Great block out there by LaTerrence Dunbar to open up the outside.
Maiden to the left, James to the right, continuing with a one-back set. Tomlinson dives, maybe gets down to the 32-yard line. Down to 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. You know, someone wrote a pregame story this week claiming that this would be the fastest game in college football this year because you have two teams, Rice and TCU, that just love to run the football. And we have seen some terrific sustained drives by both teams. 2nd and 7 from the 31. Printers again on a short drop. Pass is caught. This is James. And it looks like James may have the first down. He does. He tight-roped down the right sideline and was knocked out of bounds at the 23, and that'll move the chains for the Frogs.
Dave, we talked about TCU and Rice are both known for their rushing, but Casey Printers here, as you see, has a career passing percentage of nearly 59% completions. And in that game against Navy earlier this year, he completed 14 of 17 for an 82% and a school record.
In that game against Navy, 17 pass attempts. That's the high of the year for Printers. Here comes Levine, Tomlinson, and Vanover with a good open field tackle. You don't see that happen very often. Vanover, one-on-one out there on an island, was able to bring down LT all by himself. That's a good play. Here's another look at it.
Well, LT's trying to hit it up inside, doesn't see much. Vanover does a tremendous job to avoid in that inside hole off the guard.
So that converted quarterback, Vanover, shows picture-perfect tackling. This is Tomlinson. Just keeps moving forward down to the 17-yard line.
So that offensive line for the Horned Frogs is making a few holes for LT, moving this Rice defensive line back. And as we talked in our opening about the strength of this offensive line, this is the 19th consecutive start that this unit has made. You can look all over the country, Dave, and I don't think you'll find a unit that has played together for that long.
That is amazing. We talked about him in the open today. Tomlinson likes to refer to the guys up front as the big uglies, but they've been painting a beautiful picture for him and the rest of the Frogs today. Printers on the play action got the ball quickly away to James, and he was leveled for his trouble by Gatlin. Nanoseconds after the pigskin arrived, so did Gatlin, and he separated the ball from James.
Well, this is a tremendous play from Gatlin as he takes James and just hits him right under the chin. TCU's running the same play that's been so successful for him, and there you see Gatlin just hitting James just right under the chin.
All right, so here is Kay Lackey into the game. This kick will come from the right hash mark. His other two field goals have come from the left hash mark today. This will be a 34-yard attempt as Kay Lackey goes for his third three-pointer of the afternoon. Right down the pipe. .707 to go, third quarter. Chris Kay Lackey with his third field goal of the day. TCU 23, Rice nothing.
Living here in Texas, making friends each day. Going straight down to the party, Miller Lite in this big face. Sabor Texas, Sabor Texas, Miller Lite. Downtown at the party, go Miller Lite. Be true to Texas, she's true to you. Sabor Texas, Miller Lite.
Learning to change the world. Horned Frog.
Opportunities.
Technology.
Business.
People are friendly.
Education.
Student government.
Teamwork.
Knowledge.
Class size.
Tradition.
Encouragement.
Because I like the talent.
E-commerce.
Community service.
Faculty.
Study abroad.
Purple.
Fort Worth.
Leadership.
Learning to change the world.
In anticipation of your runaway success as a Wall Street Journal reader, how to blend in with normal people. When in public, walking a pet can help you blend in. A tip on being madly successful from the Wall Street Journal, full of insight on making it big. Subscribe to the Journal for just 57 cents a day for 13 weeks, 25% off the regular rate. The Wall Street Journal.
Call 800-249-8900. That's 800-249-8900.
For the Owls, number 25, Sean White.
Well, the Horned Frogs of TCU rather, doing a good job today. TCU 23, Rice nothing. We're more than halfway home in the third quarter. Rice started the second half, Harold, with a lot of momentum. They took the third quarter kickoff, drove all the way down to the TCU 19-yard line, and then were stopped on downs. TCU countered with a drive of their own, and Chris Kalaki converted a 34-yard field goal to make it 23-0. And that is not a place for the timid. Nice return made by Sean White, and he will stay in the game as one of the backs for Jeremy Hurd, who's in at quarterback in place of the injured Corey Evans. Evans left the game with a knee injury late in the second half.
White may have wished he'd down that instead of running it out, as they were stopped on the 17-yard line. And they saw a big hit there from Bird Jones and Curtis Fuller, number 18, in on that last tackle.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up, Harold, because that's really been a problem for Rice this year. While TCU leads the nation in kickoff returns, White averages only 16 yards kickoff return and only has a long of 27 this year. Bradley going out of bounds in front of the TCU bench.
Bumped out of bounds for number 17, Charlie Owens.
Rice does a good job of working around the end. The wide receiver on that side was able to screen the cornerback off and give him a little seam to the outside for a pickup of about 6 yards.
There's Hurd, and that's a bit of an oddity. He's got more passing yards than rushing yards. Wouldn't normally expect that. Second down and a short 5. Ball was loose. Bear nearly shot the gap. He was in the backfield nearly as fast as the football was on the exchange from the center to Hurd. What a great play from Chad Bear.
The TCU defense has done an outstanding job today. You see Chad Bear come and actually strip that ball loose as he's coming on the stunt, as he sees motion there to the short side of the field. And you can't say enough about the TCU defense today. They have just done an outstanding job today.
They have shut the door for Rice's running game. Third down and 7. Hurd. Did he make the corner? And it's Bear who closed in on him short of the first down, and Rice is going to have to punt.
Secondary does an outstanding job of covering the receivers. Hurd has no place to go with the ball.
Saw Bo Schobel down there as well on the tackle for Coach Dennis Franchione. Now, maybe a little too early to start thinking about putting this one in the win column, but right now TCU's defense is dominating. LaDainian Tomlinson is having a very strong game, and the Horned Frogs, it's homecoming. They had an awful lot of emotion going into this game after losing 4 straight in this series to Rice. Here's the call.
Holding on the defense. 10 yards from the previous spot. First down.
Well, there you go.
Well, perhaps that's the reason there wasn't an open receiver.
Yeah, maybe. So while we were singing the praises of TCU, they're called for defensive holding, and that's a big penalty on a 3rd and long, and it gives Rice fresh life, a fresh set of downs. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Owls and Coach Ken Hatfield at the 30-yard line. Robbie Beck in the backfield, the fake back. Here's the end around to Booth. Booth got a good block on the corner. And he spins his way up to the 36-yard line. Gavin Booth.
Number 59, Terrence Maiden.
Well, here's the previous play. The holding call is Kenneth Hilliard there. It's got the wide receiver. Yeah, he's got a hold of him without question.
Great shot by our crew. They were all over that. Second down and 4.
Rice is attempting to slow down the pursuit from TCU and trying these plays where you come against the grain as they ran that end around.
Not much running room up the middle. That's the freshman Robbie Beck from Louisville, Texas.
Bo Schobel, number 21, was there for the play and makes great contact at the line of scrimmage, but actually slips off that block as Beck was running extremely tough and picked up a couple of yards, and we're looking at 3rd and 1.
Robbie Beck is going to be a good player for Rice. He was getting all kinds of attention from schools like Tennessee and Clemson, but he liked the fact that in the Rice offense, the fullback gets to carry the ball every once in a while. Hurd shoots forward on the quarterback keeper, and he needed to get the nose of the football to the 40-yard line to pick up the first down.
Well, Aaron Schobel pinches in very hard from his right defensive end and does an outstanding job, and it looks like it's going to be 4th down in a matter of inches. Here we go again as you see Schobel pinching straight down and stops Hurd there just short of the 40-yard line. And Rice is going to go for it here.
Got to. We're getting late in the 3rd quarter, and they're trailing 23-0. Handoff, first down. And that is Robbie Beck. Beck made that one look easy. So the sticks move, and Rice stays alive on this drive.
Making the tackle.
Well, I'm sure Gary Patterson, the defensive coordinator, remembers a play in the 3rd quarter of last year's game where Rice had a 4th and very short yardage. He basically what we call sold out the defense and brought everybody trying to stop him on 4th down. The fullback, Jamie Tyler, busted it free up the middle and ran for about a 40-yard touchdown.
It's a very, very young Rice offense. Today they started only one senior. The pass, caught. Finally got it to Booth. Booth has been open most of the day, and that time Hurd put it between the 8 and the 1, and it's all the way down to the TCU 28.
This is an excellent thrown ball from Hurd. As you see, the receiver's running the fade pattern, and he hits him on a dead run out there. As Gavin Booth is a very dangerous wide receiver, and he's got Bo Springfield there breathing down his neck, but a tremendous play from Rice.
Yeah, beautiful throw, Bo Springfield with a touchdown-saving tackle. First down now. Hurd still has it, gets away from one man, but can't keep his feet. Charlie Owens had him in the backfield, and Hurd's able to elude him and move ahead for a gain of 3. It's 2nd down and 7. Opening possession of the 3rd quarter, Rice got deep into TCU territory, turned the football over on downs, and here they are again, Harold.
Right, they have made some great halftime adjustments, and in both their second half possessions, 3rd quarter possessions here, have been very productive as they're down deep in TCU territory again.
Hurd on the keeper. He eludes one tackler.
They loaded up inside again, and Hurd is going to follow his halfbacks right up the middle.
Yeah, that was a good stop by Terrence Maiden. Here comes Terrence off the field.
Yeah, the brother of Tim Maiden, number 4, the wide receiver for TCU that had such a great first half.
3rd down and 3. Rice trying to get into the red zone. They need the TCU 18 to keep the drive alive. The hand off goes to the fullback, Beck. And Beck is close to the first down, near the 18-yard line. Well, this Rice offense, when it does execute correctly, it grinds out the yards, but it also burns up the time. We've got less than 90 seconds to go in the third quarter now. They're going to measure this.
The option offense, though, does put a tremendous amount of pressure on the defense. And the way you stop it is you have to play position football. You have to, everyone is assigned a ball carrier that they have to be responsible for, and that responsibility gets pretty tough. TCU's done a good job with it so far in this game, but here Rice is knocking on the door again, looking at another short fourth down opportunity on about the 18.5-yard line.
Well, if they convert this, this will be the second fourth down converted on this drive. Harold, I think if Rice gets into the end zone here, they've got to be thinking about a two-point conversion attempt. You're trailing 23-0. And here comes the play. Fourth and less than a yard. There you see the fourth down conversions today. The one that the Owls missed was deep in TCU territory at the beginning of the third quarter. Beck bouncing outside. He's got it. Inside the 10, 5. Ruled out of bounds. Stepped out of bounds at the 6. Looks like he was going to go into the end zone, but as he swept around the left side, he stepped out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Nevertheless, that is a first down.
TCU is pinching into the inside as Beck comes in, and he's able to get around Kenneth Hilliard, number 2 there, who is the right cornerback, and gets it all the way down to the 6-yard line. There you see Hurd stepping out of bounds on the 6. Good work by the cameraman there.
That was a good call. He was definitely out of bounds. First and goal for Rice at the TCU 6. Hurd. Oh, got away from one tackler. Skips past another man, and Gary bangs him out of bounds at the 1-yard line. What a play. First, it looked like it was going to be a 5-yard loss. Then it appeared it might be a Rice touchdown. He's banged out of bounds at the 1.
Well, this will show you why Ken Hatfield loves Jeremy Hurd. Here he is. You got Charlie Owens all over him there, and then he's going to get by Aaron Schobel, and finally Russell Gary knocks him out at the 1-yard line. A very gifted runner. Jeremy Hurd, a redshirt freshman, will be giving the Rice Owls a lot of opportunities in the future to score.
Well, here we are. Rice, less than a yard from the goal line, trying to score the first third quarter touchdown against the TCU defense this year. And Tyler is thrown back.
Chad McCarty makes a tremendous defensive play as he comes off the left end, wraps Tyler up, and one of the few times we're able to turn Tyler around to keep him from falling forward.
May have actually lost a couple of inches on that play.
Here you get another look at it. You're going to see Chad McCarty, number 92, come in there and turn Tyler around. Pretty hard to do on that big, strong fullback.
Third and goal. No, did not get in. Tyler again.
Chad Bear, 48. Middle linebacker for TCU, fills the hole nicely there. And this will be the third play in a row from about the 6-inch line.
Well, we're going to head to the other end of the field because we have come to the end of the third quarter. And when we begin the final period, the Owls of Rice will be facing a 4th and goal from inside the TCU 1. Time to head to the 4th. TCU 23, Rice nothing.
Ford F-150. It's the truck more Texans depend on. It's also the truck that gives Texans more payload capacity. And now, more value. For a limited time, get into a new Ford F-150, the best-selling truck in Texas, with low 4.9 financing or $1,000 cash back. To get a new F-150 or to check out the Ford F-150 Super Crew, get to your Texas Ford dealer today and see why
Ford is the best in Texas. Do you, TCU, do you, TCU, it's such a family-friendly thing to do. Call 257 from Do You, TCU, we're your home team. Come join your home team rally out here on Frog Alley, where families go to get their game face on. Do you, TCU, a family-friendly thing to do. Do you, TCU, we're your home team.
Everyday freshness and value are part of the Minyard Family Guarantee. And at Minyard Food Stores, you can always count on money-saving weekly specials like these.
Bluebell ice cream, 2 for $6. 2-liter Dr. Pepper, 69 cents. High Top Sugar, 99 cents. And iceberg lettuce, 2 for $1. Register to be a finalist in the Survive the Challenge sweepstakes. Grand prize, a 2000 Ford Expedition.
I'm Liz Minyard. At Minyard Food Stores, quality, value, and customer satisfaction are a family tradition.
Set to begin the fourth period in Fort Worth. Jeremy Hurd getting the word from Ken Hatfield and the coaches staff of the Rice Owls. It's 4th and less than a yard for a touchdown. Rice has been kept off the scoreboard today by a determined group of Frogs from TCU. It's 27-0. And here we go. 4th and goal inside the 1. Pitch going nowhere. TCU stones him again.
What a tremendous effort by the TCU defense. They were faced there, second down on the 6-inch line, and they stone them 2 different times and then trap them for a 5-yard loss. Here's another shot of it. You see great play by Greg Walls, the number 20, the cornerback, coming up, getting off the wide receiver block. And this is a good example of why TCU is the #1 defense in the nation.
TCU giving up just 8.5 points per game, and they keep the Rice Owls off the scoreboard again. And now here comes LT, LaDainian Tomlinson. And I think that goal line stand by the defense has fired up everybody on that Frog sideline.
Well, this is just an unbelievable effort by the TCU defense as they're coming, filling every gap. Charlie Owens does a great job of getting off his block, but it's Greg Walls there on the pitch man, and I think these Frogs are happy.
The Frogs faithful living it up. Here comes Tomlinson. Tomlinson breaks 1 tackle and squirts his way up for a first down to the 18-yard line. So the Frogs have emerged from the shadow of their own end zone. And now leading 27-0 with the ball early in the 4th quarter. Harold, you start thinking about stuff like the BCS and impressive wins and Tomlinson's Heisman chances and the kind of things that kind of creep into your mind once you get your opponent where you want him in a game. Tomlinson, left side, big hole, over the 20, 25, 30, and another Frog first down.
Yeah, to follow up on that, Dave, without a doubt, TCU has made their splash on the national scene. They have a player like LaDainian Tomlinson who, to be honest with you, there's no question he is the best running back in the nation. As you see him here, get his way, B.J. Roberts with a great block. Of all the Heisman candidates, Tomlinson is the only running back in consideration.
Boy, I tell you, Mike Bobo, 61 for TCU, just closed down that side of the line of scrimmage and created a huge hole for Tomlinson to run through. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line for the Frogs. Here comes Tomlinson again, and he spins his way up the middle over the 35. A flag is down, and Tomlinson is down to the 36.
By Travis Ortega.
Well, I think the Rice nose tackle jumped that time, and that should be what the penalty is. TCU will have an option here of taking the ball 1st and 5 or 2nd and 4. More than likely they'll take this penalty.
Offsides on the defense, 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay first down.
Let's look at this surge of the right side of the offensive line. You see Keithley and Payne and B.J. Roberts as they open up that hole. There you see Victor Payne driving Pittman about 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. Number 78 there, Victor Payne, the only junior in that offensive line for TCU.
So it's first down and 5 for the Frogs at the 35-yard line. Here comes Lane, and Lane's got some room to rumble. And Lane takes it up to midfield. Lane scored the first touchdown today for TCU.
George Lane's a tremendous asset to the TCU team. He's known a lot for his blocking, but his statistics for his rushing are incredible. He actually has the highest average per game on the rushing attempt of anyone on the TCU team, including LT. Picks up a big gain of about 15 yards on that carry.
So it's a first down at midfield for TCU. Here comes Tomlinson again, another big hole. And right now, the TCU offensive line is just dominating this game. Tomlinson to the 39-yard line. That's another first down.
Well, the TCU defense fired the offense up with that tremendous goal line stand. And I think the big uglies here have taken over the game. As you look here, you're going to see Tomlinson up the middle. Again, Victor Payne and Jeff Milliken just opening up a huge hole up the middle.
Payne just created a huge hole for LT to go through that time. First and 10 from the 39. James in motion. Here's the pitch to Tomlinson, trying to get outside, gets away from one man. A flag is down, and Tomlinson did well just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Dan Dawson, number 30, outside linebacker for Rice, does an outstanding job here of getting away from the wide receiver who's blocking on him. Got a flag here. It looks like Rice is offsides again. So the Frogs are going to get another shot at it with another first and 5. There you see LaDainian Tomlinson heading to the sidelines for a much-deserved rest.
Offsides on the defense, lined up in the neutral zone. 5 yards from the previous spot, replay first down.
First down and 5.
Dave, this to me is the most impressive drive that TCU's put together in today's game, as they've just taken up huge chunks of yardage on each play.
A Stoker ahead, and he takes a page out of the LT playbook and puts the defender on his back and gets nearly the first down yardage at the 29-yard line.
You know, the backup running back for TCU may be the most incognito guy in Fort Worth today. Everybody knows about LT. Hayes Stoker in there doing an outstanding job. Great backup, but does not get the opportunities because of LT's ability.
You know what, though, Harold? Every time we've seen him in the game, he's really looked good. Here he comes again. Spinning. And it looks as if he's got the first down at the 28-yard line of Rice. It is a first down, and the clock continues to churn, and they move the sticks. A TCU win would extend the winning streak to a nation's current longest 12 games, and it would put the Frogs at 7-0 for the first time since 1938. TCU closing in on their 9th straight win here in Fort Worth. That man again, Tomlinson, back in the lineup, and he's got the ball. Tomlinson stretches the body out to the 20-yard line.
He just runs with unbelievable reckless abandon. The further we go into this game, the stronger he gets. Again, a huge hole over on the left side. You see Keithley over there opening up a big hole, and Tomlinson just punishing the defensive backs.
Second down and 2. Following the goal line stand by the Frogs defense. LaDainian Tomlinson, backfield mate Lane. Takes it down to the 5. It's first and goal for TCU. Unofficially, we've got Tomlinson now with 172 rushing yards. George Lane's having a big day.
Well, he just picks up huge chunks of yardage. And here you see the defense obviously keying on Tomlinson. Milliken going through and opening up a big hole. Jeff Garner down there picking up the safety. And then Lane just punished Jason Hebert.
First down and goal for TCU. Ball resting just outside the 5-yard line. Handoff, LaDainian Tomlinson. Inside, crosses the 5, down to about the 4-yard line. Not much happening there. Rice defends that play well. And you know, at this point of the game, Harold, that Rice defense has really got to start getting tired. They've been on the field an awful lot here in the second half.
Well, they really have, and as you were going through earlier, they have suffered a lot of injuries during the course of the year, and they're not nearly as deep on defense as, say, the Horned Frogs are. So those players have been out there for a long time, and that big old offensive line is leaning on them.
This is just one of those games when it appears as if TCU is running downhill most of the second half. They look like the pressured team. Here comes Tomlinson. Can he get the corner? Touchdown, LaDainian Tomlinson, his second of the day. LaDainian Tomlinson with his second rushing touchdown of the day. And it's all purple in Fort Worth this afternoon as the Frogs extend their lead.
Dave, we talked about knockdown blocks earlier in the game, and I want to watch George Lane, number 38 there, as he takes his man to the ground, opening the gates for LaDainian Tomlinson.
Chris Kalaki is on to add the extra point. Up and good.
BJ! Good job, BJ!
I'd say the Froghorn's been busy today. TCU 30, Rice nothing.
When it comes to our bodies, everyone is unique. Around 66% of us can curl our tongues, and 70% talk in our sleep. That's why Harris Methodist Hospitals deliver health care as individual as you are, through the healing hands of medical staff doctors and caring hearts of people truly dedicated to your well-being. That's what makes Harris Methodist Hospitals, well, unique. Harris Methodist Hospitals, healing hands, caring hearts.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Could I get a glass of water, please?
Oh, sure. Anything else?
Now that you mention it, I could use a little more leg room.
At American Airlines, we're removing coach seats from every plane.
How's that?
To give you what you really want. More room. Good. On American, coach has more class.
Excuse me.
Here in the game. LaDainian Tomlinson with his second touchdown run of the day. Tomlinson closing in on another 200-yard rushing day. What a drive. A 99-yard drive.
Well, TCU just took it to Rice in big chunks on that drive. That was definitely the most impressive drive we've seen of TCU in several ball games. Basically took it on the ground in big chunks of 6, 8, 12 yards at a time. George Lane with two real big runs. LT carrying the majority of the load. The big offensive line of TCU just wearing down the defense of Rice.
Well, for the national pollsters, they've got to be impressed with the effort that TCU has provided today, throwing a shutout at Rice to this point of the ball game. LaDainian Tomlinson, 2 touchdowns, closing in on 200 rushing yards. This is White, and he is knocked down.
Jared Smitherman comes in there and makes a great tackle on White. Looked like he had a little seam, and Smitherman just knocked him down.
We don't really want to get into it in too much detail, but there are teams ahead of TCU in the BCS standings that are losing today or are struggling. So there's a real good chance that TCU could be moving into the BCS top 10. We'll step aside from Fort Worth for the moment. LT and his pals lead 30-0.
When we get together, there's a thing we do in the heart of Texas, and it's always true. Like the Miller Lite, like the friends we make. When it's real, you can feel what you just can't fake. With a cold Miller Lite calling out to you, be true to Texas, she's true to you. TCU. It's such a family-friendly thing to do. Call 257 from 2U, TCU. We're your home team. Come join your home team rally out here on Broad Alley, where families go to get their game face on. 2U, TCU, a family-friendly thing to do. 2U, TCU, we're your home team.
That is so sweet.
Hey, here's your free phone for making the donation.
Want a free digital phone? Donate $20 to Special Olympics from Southwestern Bell.
Coming down the home stretch in the fourth quarter, 9:20 to go in the game. Rice trailing TCU. They've got the football. Dave Weekley with Harold McElroy and Hal Jay down on the field. A beautiful day in Fort Worth for football. These two old rivals. And we played primarily penalty-free football, but we're talking one over right here.
Well, as of late, there's been a few defensive penalties where Rice lined up offsides twice. Let's hear what the call is on this one.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5 yards, still first down.
All right, that's going to kick the Owls back 5 yards. Let's head down to the TCU sidelines. What's up, Hal?
I'll tell you what, this team is 9 minutes away from having the longest win streak in the nation. But does the intensity level drop? Not on the line with the big uglies. These guys are down here on the field. They want some BCS points now. That's what they're fighting for, and they're not going to give up. They don't care if they have a 30-point lead or not. That's what they're fighting for right now. Back up to Harold and Dave.
All right, the pass is incomplete. Bo Springfield had the coverage on Booth, and it'll be 2nd down and 15. Harold, this is the kind of thing that if you're Ken Hatfield, obviously you never want to trail, but in a situation like this where you're down 3-4+ touchdowns now, kind of takes you out of your offensive game plan. You can't really run the ball the way you want to. You're kind of forced to play a style of football that you're not normally accustomed to playing, and that's the passing game. Now we've got a march off against TCU. Here's the call.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense. 15 yards, automatic first down.
Was that a late hit on the quarterback?
Well, it must have been. I did not see it as we were watching the ball in the air, but it was thrown in an area in the back of the pocket, which would make you think it was a late hit. Kind of rescues Rice because they were facing a 2nd and 15.
First down and 10 for the Owls. Here goes Hurd. And that's the pitch to the fullback. Robbie Beck getting out there and showing us he's got some wheels. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at the Miller Brewing and Bottling scoreboard from the WAC, and SMU keeps Nevada winless in the WAC. Tulsa and Fresno State. Going to be a lot of passes thrown in that game. 9 o'clock Central Time start. And still to come out in the island, San Jose State and Hawaii. San Jose State's had a fine year. They're still in the hunt to become bowl eligible. It's been kind of a tough season for Hawaii. We'll see if they can get their high-powered offense going at home tonight. 1st and 10. Hurd. And Maiden, Terrence Maiden was there to plant him at midfield.
Yeah, that was a huge hit by Terrence Maiden, the twin brother of Tim, and he scraped off that play exactly the way Gary Patterson, the defensive coordinator, drew it up. Mark Parks, his linebacker coach, I'm sure is thrilled to death with the way Terrence Maiden, the senior from Dallas Carter, played that one.
Well, he gained a yard, and boy, he earned it. That was a tough hit. Man, you see Terrence Maiden there on the sidelines getting a little medical attention.
Yeah, I think he felt that hit too, but that was quite an impact.
You know, it's 30-0. Rice has got the football. You would think that possibly the hurry-up offense might be the plan here, but apparently not the case. This is Hurd throwing it down the field. His intended receiver had fallen down, and it's incomplete. Weber was the intended receiver, and as he tried to make his cut out, in front of the Rice bench, he simply fell down.
Yeah, Weber was trying to run a route to where he faked the in and went to the out. And as he put his fake on, he actually slipped down. He didn't even know Hurd had thrown the ball. The ball had landed behind him, and he's still looking for it from the quarterback. So
Weber comes back to the huddle. Hurd steps up under center. Ken Hatfield really likes this young guy. Really says he's a hard worker. He's the kind of youngster who shows up for meetings an hour early. Hurd avoids Aaron Schobel. Tuck it, run it. And he reaches the 46-yard line of TCU. It's going to be 4th down and 5.
Brought down by number 36.
Well, Hurd shows you his elusiveness as he has no receiver to throw far, breaks it up the middle, does a real good job. Burt Jones actually comes up and makes the tackle. It looked like, Dave, that he was going to make the first down, but Burt Jones closed very quickly. We're facing
timeout. Rice, second timeout.
Got a timeout here from Rice. We're facing another 4th down for Rice. They've converted 2 of 4 so far today.
So it's yet another 4th down. Facing the Owls will step away from Fort Worth, where the Horned Frogs at TCU lead 30-0.
This Craftmatic Model 2 electrically adjustable bed costs no more than many quality flatbeds. And when you buy selected ones with optional heat and built-in massage, you get this fabulous bonus. A 25-inch color TV absolutely free. Call toll-free to receive complete free information by mail. In a flatbed, you have to use pillows to prop yourself up. But in a Craftmatic bed, you adjust yourself into comfortable positions automatically, so you can watch TV, read, and get a great night's sleep. Raise and support your head, neck, shoulders, back, legs, and feet at the touch of a button. Plus, there's optional heat and built-in massage to soothe you. Call toll-free so we can mail you our adjustable bed catalog and a certificate for a free 25-inch color TV with bed purchase. Call to get our free catalog and color TV certificate by mail now. There is absolutely no obligation.
Call toll-free 1-800-852-9600. That's 1-800-852-9600 toll-free. 1-800-852-9600.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road. From up in Amarillo down to San Antonio.
Nothing makes the miles between the Panhandle and the Hill Country fly by like this, the Ford Mustang. And right now, you can hit the open road in one with $1,000 cash back. Stop by your Texas Ford dealer today and test drive the car that proves without a doubt
Ford is the best in Texas.
Another 4th down for Rice. The Owls facing 4th down and 5 at the TCU 46-yard line. This is Hurd. It's going to be a pass. Halfback pass up and too tall, intended for Booth. That was Ben Wolf, the 3rd quarterback for Rice, got into the formation, threw the pass. Booth was there. The pass was just a little bit long, and once again, that TCU defense holds them.
Well, they've had a tremendous game today. Let's look at the defensive play here.
This is going to be our Texas Ford dealers' play of the game, and it happened on the first play of the 4th quarter. 4th and less than a yard for a touchdown, and Walls comes up with the big stop. TCU took over the football, marched to the length of the field, and scored their
LT on the carry.
3rd touchdown of the day. And now the Horned Frogs have the football back, and obviously Coach Fran would love to get a little clock run here and get back to the house and put win number 7 of the year in the bank. Ladaney and Tomlinson stop for no gain. It's 2nd down and 10 as we count down to 7 minutes to go in the game. And some of this big crowd that showed up to celebrate homecoming in Fort Worth starting to find their way out of the stadium now, head back to the tailgate or head back to the parking lot. Had a huge parade down here last night. Here comes George Lane. Lane's had a good game, and Lane has stopped at the 49-yard line. Harold, let me ask you, as a former TCU football player, you were at the Letterman's banquet here in Fort Worth last night. What's the feeling among the Lettermen and some of the players who have been around this program when the times weren't quite so good? I'm sure a season like this for yourself and some of the other Lettermen has been really gratifying.
Well, there's a tremendous sense of pride from the Letterman's Association, and it is helping all sports. TCU is very well-rounded in their athletics. Basketball team has been strong for a number of years, but the tennis team, which has always been nationally ranked, golf is doing well. We've got women's sports that are doing outstanding, as you heard from Jeff Mitty, the women's basketball coach earlier today. There's just a tremendous sense of pride here at TCU.
Printers on the keeper, takes it down to just outside the 45-yard line of Rice. It is 4th and a yard. And I think they're talking about going for it on the TCU sidelines. And Prentice is going to stay in the game, and the Horned Frogs will go for it.
Well, I'm not real sure. He's back there standing by the referee. More than likely, he's going to let this play clock run down. There's 15 seconds left on the play clock.
I think you're right.
Run as much clock as he can, call a timeout, and then I really suspect you're going to see the TCU punting team.
And there you go. The play clock has expired. And as you predicted,
timeout. TCU. First timeout.
TCU burns the first of their 3 timeouts. Now, see, that's why you were a player, Harold. I wasn't. You know, I'm too far from the action. You were right down in there.
Well, Franchione loves to eat that clock up, and the TCU offense has done a great job of that today. The TCU defense has done a just remarkable job of stopping Rice, and it's been a good game for TCU.
Step aside from Fort Worth. TCU leads Rice 30-0.
Is teaming up with the Western Athletic Conference to bring you the 2001 Williams WAC basketball tournament. All 9 WAC schools will bring their men's and women's teams to Tulsa March 6th through the 10th for 16 exciting games in 5 action-packed days. WAC basketball teams are some of the nation's best, so don't miss your chance to see them all at the 2001 Williams WAC basketball tournament. Call your school's athletic ticket office for tickets.
When it comes to our bodies, everyone is unique. Around 66% of us can curl our tongues, and 70% talk in our sleep. That's why Harris Methodist Hospitals deliver health care as individual as you are. Through the healing hands of medical staff doctors and caring hearts of people truly dedicated to what makes Harris Methodist Hospitals, well, unique. Harris Methodist Hospitals. Healing hands, caring hearts.
Do you, TCU? Do you, TCU? It's such a family-friendly thing to do. Call 257 from Do You, TCU. We're your home team. Come join your home team rally out here on Frog Alley, where families go to get their game face on. Do You, TCU? A family-friendly thing to do. Do You, TCU? We're your home team.
TCU 30, Rice nothing. 5.5 minutes to go in the game this afternoon. It's been a real happy time on Frog Alley this afternoon. Celebrating homecoming, trying to snap a 4-game losing streak in this long and storied history with Rice. And it looks like TCU is going to do that. Chris Kalaki, who's handling the punting chores this afternoon because of the early first quarter injury to Joey Biasotti, gets it away. Is going to take that one inside the 10, and he returns it to the 14-yard line, so give him a punt return of 5 yards. Well, LaDainian Tomlinson is the best running back in college football. I don't think anybody's going to argue with that, but here are the guys that he really is in competition with for the Heisman, and you've got some real star power guys here, like Drew Brees of Purdue, Woody Dantzler of Clemson, Michael Vick of Virginia Tech, and Chris Wenke of Florida State. I think the first thing you have to say about Tomlinson's Heisman chances, TCU has to keep winning. They cannot lose a game.
Well, without question, TCU being in a non-BCS conference has got to prove to the pollsters every week that they have the ability to compete on the national level. They're doing a good job of that today, but they've got to continue to do that in these next 4 ball games.
And a sack. TCU coming up with the sack. That's Chad Pugh.
Down to number 76.
Hurd never had a chance.
No, big Chad Pugh, a redshirt freshman out of Boswell, right outside of Fort Worth here, comes up with a big play on the quarterback draw and stops him for a 2-yard loss.
Number 37, Jamie Tyler on the carry.
And that time, it was Jamie Tyler on the carry, and he really didn't have anywhere else to go today on that play. He's definitely shut down. Well, the TCU defense has really just handcuffed Rice's ground attack today. They never really got anything going in the first half. They showed some flashes in the third quarter, but TCU had some big fourth down stands, and Rice has still got a big goose egg up on the board.
Well, this defense has done a tremendous job today. They're very deep in talent. 22 players will be out there on the field at some point in time during the day for the defense, as they've got tremendous talent in their younger kids in the defensive line in particular.
Hurd was running for his life and ducked out of bounds at the 11. That's going to be a loss of 1. And suddenly it's fourth down again. It's fourth down and 13.
Dave, we were afraid we were going to get a little rain today, but as you can see from that shot on your screen, it turned out to be a very pleasant day in Fort Worth. And I know Hal is glad that he didn't get wet today.
That's true. LeVar Veal is back to receive this punt. He's grazing back there on the natural surface here in Fort Worth at about the 44-yard line. Travis Hale has been a very busy guy punting the football today for Rice. And we've got whistles. Hale, by the way, from Duncanville, was a high school teammate of the current quarterback for Rice, Jeremy Hurd.
They have an outstanding program over in Duncanville, always traditionally rich in their football program. Play very good. Looking there at Coach Dennis Franchione, as we remember starting the day, he was 0-4 against Rice.
Snap, a delay of game on the offense.
So
5 yards, still fourth down.
Yeah, that's right, Harold. He was 0 for 2 against Hatfield as the head coach at TCU, and he was also 0 for 2 against Hatfield during his days at New Mexico. So he's breaking a streak today. But the winning streak of TCU appears as if it's going to extend to 12 games. The longest current winning streak in college football in the wake of Nebraska's loss today to Oklahoma. Veal from his own 47, trying to get to the corner. Needs a block. Got a great one there. Still on his feet. Finally hog-tied and brought to the turf at the 39-yard line by a host of white jerseys. And now we got some pushing at the bottom of the pile here.
Quite a bit of extracurricular activity, as I know Rice is frustrated, and Fran's trying to get his players back off the field there. But a lot of frustration, I'm sure, from the Rice sideline. LeVar Veal there did an outstanding job on that return. He actually lost yardage, but he must have avoided about 6 or 7 Rice players.
Now we're seeing Nick Sabula leaving the field for Rice. He's one of those guys who had to move from the offense back over to the defense to shore up that injury-riddled defensive line for Ken Hatfield this week at Rice. First down and 10 for TCU at their own 39-yard line. LaDainian Tomlinson still has time to get a good carry here and pushes the total today over 200 yards. There goes Tomlinson. Got a big hole to run through. Across the 50. Tack on another 13 more for LT.
He's had a tremendous second half after picking up 82 yards in the first half. He is well over 100 yards gained in this second half and is just rolling up the Rice defense. LT averaging 182 yards per game, is on pace to get 2,000 for the year. Here you see him again, B.J. Roberts, number 91, with a big block out there, and LT chewing up big yardage.
3.5 minutes to go in the game. Here's Tomlinson again. Shooting through across the 45 and down to the Rice 44-yard line. That's a gain of another 5 for Tomlinson.
Number 91, Jonathan.
And there you see the Rice defense congratulating this young man, as they know how talented he is and how hard it must be to be so durable. I mean, you got to look at how durable Tomlinson is.
Tomlinson with 195 yards to this point.
comes Tomlinson, slips as he reaches the 41-yard line. 2.5 minutes to go in the game. It'll be 3rd down and 3. So we've got Tomlinson unofficially at about 197, 198. Still needs one more carry to really break it up over 200 yards.
Well, it's beginning to look like that's what Franchione's got in mind, is give LT the ball. Of course, he is the mainstay of their offense. Give him the ball and see if he can get over that 200-yard barrier this week.
Here's the pitch to LT. Pushes across, and it looks as if he's very, very close to the first down. The ball needed to get beyond the Rice 38-yard line. It may be close enough to measure.
Yeah, he was following David Bobo, number 61 there up the middle. And there's LT. According to our numbers, he is over 200 at 41 carries for 203.
And it looks like he's going to come out of the game. Looks like he might have a cramp.
Well, I can't imagine why the young man would be tired after 41 carries.
Come on, LT. What are you talking about? Get back in there. 41 carries. That's a mind blower. We mentioned earlier in the game he had 49 carries against Rice in a game earlier this year.
Well, it looks like they're just inches short.
Yeah. So it's going to be 4th down and less than a yard. Tomlinson has left the game. I do not anticipate his return. He's done it all today. Oh, you know one thing, though, when I was crunching the numbers on LT, Tomlinson has scored 46 touchdowns in his career, has never caught a touchdown pass. 4th and less than a yard. Printers, Lane. Oh, Lane has just stood up at the line. I think Rice held him. There's a flag down on the play. Boy, good surge by Rice. Lane took the ball, tried to go off the left side, and just hit a brick wall. And offsides is the call against the Owls, and that will give the first down to TCU, and they'll simply been able to run out the clock at this point of the game. TCU led this game at halftime, 20-0. And here in the second half, a 34-yard field goal by Kay Lackey.
Offsides on the defense, lined up in the neutral zone, 5 yards from the previous spot, first down.
A Chris Kay Lackey 34-yard field goal, the only score in the third quarter of the game, and then LaDainian Tomlinson with a 4-yard touchdown run in the 4th.
There you see LT getting a little care from the trainer. Looks like the upper calf is giving him a little bit of trouble.
Clock running. You can see it in the upper left-hand portion of your screen. We're under 90 seconds to go in the game today. Brenner's going to put it up and send it to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! LaTerrence Dunbar.
Well, TCU had been grinding the ball right up the middle. And Franchione goes for the jugular here as he's, I think, actually concerned about those BCS ratings, Dave, and this ought to help out a little bit. Here's the nice fake up the middle. Printers hangs it out there for Dunbar, who's wide open over the center. And TCU should move up in the ratings after this week's performance.
Kay Lackey onto the field to tack on the extra point. Shoots it through. It's good. So LaTerrence Dunbar pulls in the touchdown pass. TCU leads 37-0. We'll return to Fort Worth in just a moment. You're watching WAC football from ESPN+. Today's game has been brought to you by Harris Methodist Hospitals. Healing hands, caring hearts. Your Texas Ford dealers, the #1 selling car and truck in Texas. By Miller Lite, true to Texas. And by American Airlines. On American, Coach has more class.
It's payback time from your Dallas Mavericks. You asked for it, you got it. The Superstar Plan gets you the 10 biggest games this season. You'll see the world champion Lakers twice, skywalking Vince Carter and his Toronto Raptors, and the best the NBA has to offer. Plus, you get the Mavs home opener versus the Milwaukee Bucks on Halloween night, and the fun of costume parties, contests, free bags of candy, and loads of fun for the kids. Call 214-747-MAVS or visit www.mavtix.com.
Flying to San Antonio for business? If these 15 reasons don't convince you to fly Southwest Airlines nonstop to San Antonio, maybe this will. Log on for low fares at southwest.com.
You are now free to move about the country.
LaDainian Tomlinson wasn't even on the field for that TCU touchdown. Casey Printers to LaTerrence Dunbar. It's 37-0.
I'm ready.
And Hal's downstairs. What do you got for us, Hal?
Coach Fran is here. Before the game is over, this has got to make a statement to the rest of the NCAA college football world.
Well, I hope it does. I think I'm correct when I say this. If this game finishes here in a minute and 20, we have the longest winning streak in the nation.
Exactly. You do have the longest winning streak in the nation. LT's over 200 yards. The defense, can your defense get any better?
Yeah, I think so.
You'll work on that this week, huh?
I'll work on it this week.
Congratulations. Back to Harold and Dave.
All right, thank you, Hal. Thank you, Coach Fran. Flag comes down late on that pooch kick, and for a moment I thought TCU was going to be able to recover that football.
Ladies and gentlemen, by virtue of Nebraska.
Kalaki does a good job of kicking the ball high in the air up against the wind, and it just hung in the air, landed close to the 20-yard line. We've got a call.
Sideline warning on TCU, first warning.
All right, that's a sideline warning on TCU from our referee, Cooper Castleberry. In 76 seconds, though, everybody's going to be able to climb out onto the field. TCU 37, Rice nothing. LaDainian Tomlinson has rushed for over 200 yards today, keeping his Heisman hopes alive. And this is a very impressive performance by TCU in their hopes of breaking into the BCS top 10. That'll be officially released on Monday night.
You just can't say enough about the effort of this TCU defense today, Dave. They have been outstanding. Obviously, it looks like they're going to get another shutout. They've had a tremendous record on those shutouts during Gary Patterson's career. Rice piled up a little yardage in the third quarter, but basically TCU's defense has been in control the entire game.
2nd and 8. Herm is brought down. McDonald is there to collect the sack.
Lamarcus McDonald, number 54, is a linebacker of the future as far as the Frogs are concerned. An outstanding young player from Waco. He's fought through a shoulder injury earlier in the year. In fact, did not make the trip to Tulsa because of a shoulder injury. But Gary Patterson says he may be a tremendous linebacker in the future.
Barring a penalty, this will be the last play of our game today. Inside of 10 seconds to go. And it's a carry for Robbie Beck, and that's it. LaDainian Tomlinson rushes for over 200 yards. And TCU defeats Rice 37-0. TCU now 7-0 overall, 4-0 in the WAC. Rice drops to 2-6, 1-4 in the league. For Harold Muckelroy and Hal J., I'm Dave Weekley saying so long from Fort Worth. Once again, our final score, the Horned Frogs at TCU 37, Rice nothing. You've been